Rockstar Energy. Gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime! Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota, let's go places.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift.
Deane, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Ryan Sage. Ryan, we have a beautiful day, a great track.
I guess it's a win-win the way you look at it, but man, this is...
Oh! Chris loses it!
Oh, and Darren McNamara, what happened? Oh, Jared! Kyle McCory drops the tire right there. Oh!
Raceman Skills Millen gets the win. But not phased is Daijiro Yoshihara.
Very fast into this corner right here.
Oh! Blazing speed, and he hits the outside rear clipping zone.
Great proximity from Daigo in the first one with a couple of airs.
I would like to see us continue to kind of move on the trajectory that we're on and continue to sell out events, grow the drivers and their programs, grow our audience, our live stream viewership, all the things that are important to us as a business. I'd love to see that continue to grow. And at the same time, what's important is that people are achieving their dreams.
I put my foot on the gas, head on the floor, hopping out before the vehicle crash. I'm on the road yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died. So that means you ain't bigger than rapping. So that means no more playing the back scenes. My spot is solidified if you ask me. My name is identified as that king. Wicked and weakness. You gotta see this.
Guess what? They're back. New season. Wash, rinse, repeat. This should be another exciting one here, Lontaine. Whoa! Here we go. Send it! Long Beach.
Nobody pray for me. You've been out there for me. Yeah, yeah.
Yo, let's take a look at this. Welcome to Long Beach. That's right. We are back at it like a track addict. We are at round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deanda, absolutely excited, elated to be back here and talking to all the Formula Drift fans, talking about the best drifters in the world. And sitting next to me is president and co-founder of Formula Drift. He took a little hiatus last year. He's back. He just cannot stay away. The one, the only Ryan Sage. Ryan, it's great to have you back up here, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun sitting next to you, Jared. This is definitely harkens back old memories. We did this for many, many years together, and yeah, it was time to take a break. But it's the 20th season. We're trying something new. I'll be in here for qualifying. We'll have Lantain and Nishida in the head-to-head matchups tomorrow, and it's going to be kind of like that the whole season long. We're going to be shaking things up.
I'll be staying here through the entirety of the season, and then joining us, you might know the name Matt Sopa. He's our starter during Pro, but during Pro Spec, he's going to come up here.
Oh,
he's a drifter himself. He's got a Fusion, has a Coyote, so he knows a lot about drifting. Excited to get Sopa up here for the full rounds of Pro Spec.
And what is Sopa on?
On Europa.
Ah,
he's on the lineup. All right, 20 years of Formula Drift. You know, it all started in 2004 in Atlanta. Taking a look at the overall champ, you can see dating back there, Sam Hubinet. He was their 2-time champion, 04 and 06. Most recently, you got Frederick Osbo back-to-back, and now a 3-time. He joins the 3-time club. Him, James Deane, and Chris Forsberg. Speaking of James Deane, a 3-time member, he's back at it. And he is behind the wheel of the first ever right-hand drive 2024 Ford Mustang RTR, a stack team. Who's your money on? Who's going to win the championship, Ryan? Go.
Well, this is one of, if not the most anticipated seasons I've ever been a part of in all 20 years. And if we're just talking about James Deane and Frederick Osbo, I think whoever of those two, if either of them wins a championship, I have to think that you're going to say that that guy's the GOAT of Formula Drift.
Right.
Because there will not be something that the other person has done to outmatch them. Osbo would have had 3 back-to-back championships, so would Deane, but Osbo would have a 4th, or Deane could have a 4th. And as Osbo, the most winningest driver in Formula Drift history, he is just cementing his name as a legend in the sport.
Saw your schedule there. We kick things off here in Long Beach. It ends in Irwindale, just down the freeway here, about 45 minutes or maybe 2 hours, depending on the traffic. All joking aside, it begins here and it ends here in Southern California. And also tomorrow, the big Hall of Fame celebration. Really excited about that, Ryan, and we'll get to more on that. Here's our qualifying format. A little bit of changes from last year to this year. Each judge, walk us through this, Ryan.
Yeah, the qualifying format is the biggest change that we made from last year to this year, and it was in large part due to input from the fans. We were trying to make a more fan-friendly qualifying format, and so the way that it's going to work is that all of the mistakes that are made are what is quantified by the judges. So you don't have a line judge, an angle judge, and a style judge. The judges are judging the entire run in its totality, looking at the mistakes made and then quantifying those and then adding the X factor, which are those things that are the point of difference that one driver can make compared to the other, whether it's heavy and controlled throttle usage, big angle with consistent pace. These are the things, it's almost kind of like named after Chelsea Denofa a little bit, because there are certain things that those drivers do, but it's not just checking the boxes, it's going that other level. So 90 points for line, angle, and style is possible, 10 points for X factors. And, you know, here's me. I've got my pad right here. I'm going to be judging along with you. And I think
Not that
that's
you are
the way.
Judging, you're kind of doing your theoretic judging.
Yeah,
correct?
I'm going to go through it. I'm going to say a
Analyzation.
deduction there, 2 points, 2 points off there, 1 point off there, and see how close I am to these judges. We spent a lot of time in the offseason going through this system, trying to quantify how big of a mistake X, Y, and Z is. And I feel pretty good that this is going to resonate with the fans. They can do it at home with us as opposed to the old school sector scoring and things like that were a little bit more convoluted and more complex.
Taking a look at this, the big headlines here. Frederick Osbo, can he go 3 in a row? Can he go for 4th? I feel like, where do you think his head's at? Where do you think his nerves are? Talking to Freddie as he's a defending champion.
I caught some of his teammates in the hot pit earlier this afternoon, and they, kind of gave me a little, hey, he's trying to get the head right.
Yeah.
And so much of this sport is the mental preparedness and the way that you approach, especially a track like Long Beach where you can ride off the car in the first corner, and we've seen that happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then when you turn to James Deane lifted the series on his back from 2017 to 2019, and the rest of the drivers came along with him. Then we had a period where he didn't come back because of COVID. Now he's back with RTR. And my favorite thing, check this out. This is my favorite thing. We will at some point see Chelsea Denofa and James Deane go up against each other. That you have two almost equal cars where you don't really have a difference at all other than maybe minor personal setups. That battle for me is going to be amazing to see because it's really going to be about the driver.
Well, you talk about Mustangs. Von Gittin Jr. is back. He's not here at this round. He's splitting the vehicle between Adam LZ. So Von Gittin Jr., two-time champ, 2010, 2020. He's back at it, and he's doing 4 rounds. Not this particular round because Adam LZ is behind the wheel of this vehicle. Adam, he did get in a tussle with the wall. You fight the wall's always going to win, I'll tell you that. But very, very cool to see Von Gittin Jr., beautiful looking, all-new 2024 Ford Mustangs. All right, Frederick Osbo, his teammate, Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota, Nitto Tires, Ryan Turk. Where do you think he's ahead at? Because he won here last year.
Well, Ryan Turk and Long Beach go well together until they don't. And he had that 1 year. But I actually think, Jared, that was a mental benefit for him because he conquered those demons, came back, got P1 last year, and qualified #1. So I really believe that he's gotten past that and has real ownership of this track, being able to command the vehicle. Second year in the car, more than a shakedown. I think he's a real threat.
Yeah, I think so too. And remember when he crashed that car, he came back and won New Jersey in that backup car. They had to thrash and build it. So it's all about, being persistent in the game of inches in between your ears, talking about your head, where you're at. 2023 season, again, the schedule, really excited to move on and progress. Atlanta is our next round. And again, let's take a look at the Torque Drift course preview.
Never stopping, I'm keeping it cold. Unlocking the door with the holy key. You supposed to be this close to me, and hopefully you understand G.O.D. Maybe this cold and I'm talking like no degrees. This ain't a fluke. I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view. I had to put in my time for the TV. Coming in soon. I couldn't leave it all up to a variant or an experience. You gotta get him and do what it do.
Walk us through the course, what the judges are expecting, where the outer zones are. 1, 2, 3. What do we got?
Well, the great thing about this course is it never changes. The walls never move. The outside zones have stayed relatively the same. We have tightened up outside zone 2 a little bit to make it a little bit more flowy. You've got that big initiation where drivers try different techniques, whether it's e-brake or momentum one side to the left, one side to the next. And then this last corner here is usually where the funny stuff happens, so to speak. It's the only place on this course where we have a marker that is not a wall.
Yeah.
And so we tend to see a lot of action in that area. It makes sense for drivers to try to close the gap in that sector. And as we take a look at the track map, you'll see just how much more simplified the qualifying format has become. We still have our decel areas that are triggered to us by the telemetry data. We've got outside zone 1 and 2 coming after the chute, after turn 9, outside zone 3 up against grandstand 18, and then that last inside clip there, line angle style equaling a maximum of 90 points and 10 X Factor points for a total of 100. So I'll be judging along with them, and try not to give away too much of, but I will show you, Jared, how I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, and again, this is all just for clarity for the fans, and the judging has just changed over the years, loving the new podcast that Jake is putting out there. For more information, Outer Zone, really great format. Jacob's a very inquisitive interviewer. He's doing a great job getting a lot of knowledge there. All right, when we come back, we'll kick things off. Also, it may bear repeating here. Qualifying order. We start from the bottom. As opposed to last year, it would be Frederick Osbo. No, we're starting with the newcomer. We're talking about Robert Thorne when we come back here to the streets of Long Beach, round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional Tire Stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
And here we are, a beautiful backdrop here, the streets of Long Beach, playing host to, F1 over the years, Champ Car, IndyCar. The Long Beach Grand Prix is going on next weekend. We'll be back out here Friday and Saturday night. Brian, keys to success. Number 1, don't hit the wall. How about us? What else you got for us, though? The K&N keys to success.
Look, it all kind of starts with the initiation with 2 C's on accurate, but that is the tempo for everything. Getting locked into that angle, riding confidently to those outside zones while on throttle, keeping that pace consistent. An explosive transition under the bridge is what the judges are looking for. Snapping from that first outside zone to the second outside zone and then continuing that pace. Not all the way up and down, consistent as much as you can max out the car. That is how those X factors are going to come into play. Our judges today, the 3, Ryan Lantane, Chris Yule, and coming back, Robbie Nishida, a 15-year veteran of the sport, also takes care of a lot of the judging responsibilities and announcing, which he'll be in the booth with you in FD Japan. Great to have him back.
Yeah, and let it be noted, Brian Eggert is here in the building. He's going to basically mitigate and converse with the drivers if they have an issue. So there we are seeing a hashtag FDLB, as we are about to see, again, some newcomers here. Also, the not-so-great 8, the knockout format, still being implemented.
Well, not so great 8 is now, you can retire that because it's not the bottom 8 anymore. It's the bottom whatever it is from 25 to however many drivers are in the competition for the weekend. So rank 25 to 34, for example, for this weekend is what we will see doing that second lap.
All right, so we won't see the entirety of all these vehicles. Right now I'm looking at 35 vehicles entering competition. Just got word that unfortunately Josh Reynolds from Switzerland is unfortunately unable to pull to the line. Robert Thorne made a lot of noise last year. A pro spec rookie ends up getting it done. An absolute weapon here. Watch how aggressive this BMW pilot is. Let's see Robert Thorne coming in that first outside zone. Ooh, a little correction, slams into the wall. A big hit there by Thorne. He does stay in it, but that will definitely affect not only the shape of his car, but also the shape of his score. A wide swing around that final inside clip. So maybe the nerves getting the best of him. So you saw that correction, that kind of little straighten right before under the bridge, and that's got to hurt. So outer zone 1, when they come into view of the judges, outer zone 2, under the bridge. Let's take a look at it again here, Ryan.
Yeah, so just marking deductions on my little sheet here. I saw at least 3 big mistakes early on. The initiation's actually pretty good. Nice rate to angle, gets set right there. You can see a little bit of a wavering, and then right here again, he gets held up, taps the wall, almost goes straight, and then as he leaves that second outside zone, heads towards the touch and go, you can see he's going to push way too deep on that inside clip. So for me, I have 4 noticeable deductions or mistakes. One right there, another one right there, another one right there, and that's going to continue as he kind of gets back in it now. This is right after the hit, and it looks like the judges are signaling that that hit was enough to give an incomplete, Jared.
Oh, bummer. Wow. So yeah, that big straightening, hits that wall, gets that, because you got to imagine, if somebody was chasing him, that'd be really hard to chase, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to go right into that wall. So unfortunately for Robert Thorne, like I said, who made so much noise, he was a thorn in everybody's side yesterday with pro spec. So an incomplete is basically, that is a 0. So he'll be surrendered to complete his second qualifying run. So as you said, Ryan, basically the top 24 advance on, the others get re-racked and they have to do their second qualifying run. That is the format here in our 23 season. What do you got?
This is a moment I've been waiting for.
You got really excited there. All right, so look at this. James Deane is in the building. The machine, the tall drink of water is back, and he is behind an absolute weapon, man. This Mustang RTR Spec 5D, great looking car. Had the pleasure of hosting and emceeing the debut. First time James Deane saw the car, rolled up the garage door, and he saw it for the first time. Right-hand drive, let it be noted as well. So again, 3 vehicles in total that the RTR team is campaigning between. James Deane, Chelsea Denofa, obviously, and Adam LZ and Vaughn Gittin Jr. are sharing a car this season. But notably, James Deane, and he's looking mean right out of the gate. Ryan, we're taking a look at telemetry there in the corner. What's this telling us? Obviously, how fast, but also what else?
So the left-hand side where it says T is the throttle. The G-force is measuring their momentum going up and down. You'll see green going up, yellow coming halfway down. And then if it hits our definition of a decel, it will go all red. Then when we get to tandem, you'll see another module for the chase driver. But this will be a good indication of what is going on physically with these vehicles as they drive this course.
Here we go. James Deane initiates. First time ever in RTR competing. Ford Mustang. Nice job of the AutoZone RTR Spec 5 FD. Into that third outside zone. Bringing it on in. Again, the 3-time champion from Ireland is back on American soil. And wow, what an entrance. Well done by James Deane on his maiden voyage behind the wheel of that AutoZone Spec 5 RTR FD. Wow. What do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously, he is James Deane. He is widely considered by many to be the world's greatest drifter, and it really doesn't matter what car he gets into. He's pretty much going to dominate it all the way. Let's take a look at this right out of the gate. He's full lock coming out of that first corner. Nice job on the first and second outside zone. Very consistent throttle as he pushes out to that third outside zone. Great transition back around, and just maybe 2 feet off that final inside clip. Here it is from the FPV coming, swiping by. Great job on that first one. The second one, I love the transition. He gets right to the angle, keeps it locked. It's not like he's adding more angle in the car tentatively. He's aggressively going from lock to lock and positioning himself on the course to give himself the best possible score.
All right, let's see where he lands. Obviously does get a score. And again, implementing all these new kind of judging format and how it's broken down, that X factor we talk about, just that little special sauce. Like you said, kind of favoring some drivers that just have that kind of amplitude, that impact overall. So again, Robert Thorne with an incomplete on his first run, and now we're waiting for James Deane's score. Scores are coming in here in a moment, and we'll continue on. Up next, another re-entrance of an absolutely legendary driver, Forrest Wang. Forrest Wang is back in car 808 as James Deane's score is coming in. Again, an iconic backdrop here. The streets of Long Beach. Drum roll, please. Where does James Deane land on his first qualifying run behind the wheel of the Ford Mustang? So judges tabulating it. So judges want to take a look. One more eye in the sky. All right, bird's eye view here.
Yeah, I mean, my pad is relatively unmarked. Maybe the last inside clip, he was a little bit off there. But this is as close to a perfect run as you can get. Yeah. I don't know that they're going to set the standard and give 100 right out of the gate. Obviously, it's not a 100, but no. I would not be surprised to see this be a score that stands a top 5 all the way through.
Absolutely, absolutely, and just what a way to re-enter Formula Drift competition.
Pat, let's have the next guy ready.
All right, waiting for James Deane's score. And there it is, a 92.6, a 92.6. Well done there by James Deane. That is a solid start there. So you can see breaking it down, the X factor, so a 7 out of 10. All right, 92.6. All right, there we are seeing in the burnout box that Yellow Speed Racing S15 Sylvia, the signature green color. That is Forrest Wang. Where are my Forrest Wang fans at? I know he's got kind of a die-hard set. There's a lot of you out there. And again, Forrest, notable for just kind of his style, big, sweepy, aggressive. You know, he always just had this kind of smoothness, kind of this kind of JDM style driving sensibility, but he turned it up, a few years ago, right before he exited Formula Drift competition. But here we go, Forrest Wang on his initiation. Little yank of the handbrake, set himself up. That first outer zone, gets all the way out to under the bridge. Yep, nails that too. All right, now that third outside zone. A little closer, but definitely tightening up. Let's see. Again, pretty similar line there to James Deane. You saw him flirt with that quick hit it and quit it, touch and go right before that final inside clip.
Yeah, so another really clean run there. I mean, that is totally be expected, even though the guy takes some time off. Nice little initiation, longer e-brake pull, maybe 1 point deduction there for me. That's perfect. Great job, and that, you can't really get better than that. Barely adjustment in that front wheel. It's a little bit off that outside zone, so let's say a little deduction there. And then the transition held up a tiny, tiny bit, and he pushed a little bit wide on that last outside zone, or excuse me, that last inside clip. So maybe I would say 4 little areas of all very, very small deductions for Forrest Wang. as he starts off really strong. The guy doesn't miss a beat. You can see right there just a tiny little adjustment coming off that outside zone. And then here on the transition back around, could have been a little bit more dynamic, but I mean, we're nitpicking here because we just saw 92. I think this is going to be right up in that category. Forrest Wang coming right back to the championship and giving us that silky smooth style that he is so well known for. And one of the things he's done great over the years, Jared, is he's increased the speed.
Yeah.
The wheel speed always used to be a big thing for him. It was a lot slower. Then he got the actual speed and he became such a much more dangerous tandem driver.
Absolutely. Again, you know, you could qualify well, but when it came to competition, like you said, he kind of had this big wheel speed, big smoke, but it would be a little bit slower than some of the other competitors. So, but now I think he's really elevated his driving prowess, his style. All right, awaiting Forrest Wang's score. And next up, we'll be seeing another newcomer here, Diego Higa. Diego Higa coming to us from Brazil. And scores are coming in. And there it is, 88.3 and 88.3 for Forrest Wang. You can see qualifying score 82, that X factor, again, out of 10, receives a 6.3. So
and look at the X factor is noticeable to me, Jared, because you can see right there a 78, an 83, and an 85. So some separation between the judges, but you see all of them in agreement on that X factor element.
You know, we talk about just how critical the points are, and obviously qualifying, getting in the show, but we've had championships come down to, you know, 1 to 5 points, you know, so it's been pretty crazy in how critical it is. So just splitting hairs here, every point does matter. All right, again, a Formula Drift rookie, Diego Higa, coming to us from Brazil. Now, this vehicle has actually seen competition before. This is a retired vehicle that Ryan Turk piloted, and Diego Higa. Quick little, you saw a little hesitation there on that flick under the bridge. Now coming into that final inside clip, and there he goes, Diego Higa. Welcome to Formula Drift. I know Diego's been trying to get over here, obviously with, you know, COVID and the lockdown.
Yeah, so for me, Jared, judging this at home, you can see he gets a little bit held up on the initiation. Great job on that first outside zone. Not fully extended the second outside zone, and he pushes a little bit wide here, leaving that third outside zone. We take a look at the last inside clip coming through here, pushing pretty close to that final inside clip. I think that the judges want to see a little bit more of an arc on that final section, so you can see maybe a little bit of a deduction there. A bigger one coming across here, not fully extended out to that second outside zone, and pushing really wide, but actually making that look pretty good. From that angle, that looked a lot better, and then just a tiny bit of low angle through that last inside clip. But a good start for him. A lot of high praise being paid to him overall and just how good of a driver he is, and we will see that unpack over the course of the season.
Yeah, really excited to see Diego just get more comfortable with this car. You know, I know he's really excited. I've become friends with one of his friends, Leticia Bafani, and I know, you know, she's been driving. She's got a Z. She's from Brazil. So, yeah, I mean, for Diego Higa, he's definitely a talented driver. Really excited to have him, you know, in the States, competing the entirety of the season. Like I said, that car owned by JDM Supreme, and that vehicle saw competition. It still even has a Turk on the valve cover, actually. So that car has seen competition before. FD20, hashtag FDLB. Let everybody know you're watching, like my man Brian Cass in Jersey. Starting him young, he's with his son, 80.3. So leaving some points out there on the board. You can see the X factor, 4 points out of 10. So 80.03.
Yeah, so all three of those scores getting averaged, and along with the X factor as well. And I think the probably the most important thing is that each judge being consistent through all of the drivers. And so you may see some variance in terms of what judge latches onto in terms of the overall importance, but wanting to try to get as close as possible to what the quantification for any deduction might be, and then you get that averaging effect that allows basically the high and the low to essentially get dropped.
Yeah, no, so again, loving the format. I think it's great. All right, on the line now, this is a great looking vehicle, and again, another Formula Drift rookie from Ukraine, Alec Holovnia. Here we go, Alex comes out of the gate. Now, interesting setup here. The all-new Supra actually has a VR engine, which is the GTR Skyline engine, right? So pretty sweet. Here we go, under the bridge. Ooh, comes up a bit short here. You can see shallow there on that third outside zone. How's he gonna handle this front clip? Seems like likes the inside clip. But Alex, again, off that outside zone 2 and outside zone 3. Could definitely be deeper, dragging some bumper, but great looking car, and welcome to Formula Drift, another Formula Drift rookie.
And I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about Alex this year. He kind of comes to us from Kristaps Blush, who did not make it out to this event, but plans to be here for the season along with Alex, who they are kind of pseudo teammates. Now getting a look on board here with the FPV, just a little bit off that second outside zone, and the third as well, leaving a little bit of a gap there between the back bumper and that treacherous wall. Wrapping through this last inside clip, almost a little kiss right there to our wall on the outside. Smooth line, a little adjustment in the front wheels as we take a look from the drone above. You can see off throttle, then on throttle there, is not able to get all the way out to that third outside zone. And right here, tight on that inside clip, but pushes a little bit wide. And as we said, the judges want to see a little bit more of a late apex there, drawing that line a little bit wider, and then cutting down and late apexing that last inside clip.
Really excited for this season, Ryan. Just, coming up and building anticipation. Like I said, I was at the RTR event, went and saw Jeff Jones reveal last Saturday, and it's been really, really fun. Excuse me, I think it was last Sunday. And I was talking to Vaughn, again, 2-time champion, and we were just talking about just how everybody just is upping the ante, the build quality, the driving, all of it. I mean, just, looking back to 2004, even 2010, you got, Formula Drift social media been posting all those cool old videos when James Deane was 18 years old, first time coming over here, babyface. Now he's still babyface, but just a lot bigger now. But it's just great to see the progression of it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2010 was when we first started live streaming. I mean, that was, 13 years ago, and look at how much has changed since that time.
Yeah, it's been great. And, so I'll just say it, I announce a lot of different series, and I'm so proud of where Formula Drift's at. And Formula Drift has some of the best fans in the world. So thank you for tuning in, being here in the building. Hey, let me hear you stomp your feet, Long Beach. Let me see if you're out there. You guys got a heartbeat? Stomp your feet if you can for me. Oh, come on. You can do better than that. Come on, stop. Make some noise. All right, I could feel a little earthquake going down. All right, so waiting for Alex's score. Again, the qualifying, compared to last year, we'd start with, basically the highest points leader, right? So obviously this being round 1, we default to the season standings from last year. But now we're going in reverse. So we actually start from the rookies and go to our top. So obviously with Frederick Osbo being the champion, he will be the final driver to qualify of our first runs. Remember, we'll take the top 24 are locked in, then the remaining spots are filled with the remaining drivers and spots. All right, so there we are. We're looking at Alex Holovnia, 78.33, 78.33.
So what's the holdup, just so I can?
Okay, and here we go, Trenton Beechum, a new build for him. He's only turned a few laps in this thing, so just getting more and more comfortable with it. I was talking to his team. They said it's a brand new build. It's not a retired car. It's not a vehicle from anybody else. Great to see him. He's got an LS under the hood of the BMW. He parked the Mustang, but took the LS out of it, and pretty decent run there. From Trenton Beechum.
Yeah, decent start here for Trenton. He's obviously been in a number of different cars over the years. I would say, though, however, Jared, this is a bit of a safer run when you're talking about Long Beach. You can see on the initiation, he gets that car to angle. He's off that first outside zone and second outside zone. And you can see low angle coming through the bridge. Now, if we're just trying to do the analysis, this is kind of more or less the way that I'm seeing it right out of the gate. And some of the points of difference between where we saw James Deane come in at that 92 and the variables we've seen all the way down to the high 70s. You can see on that first outside zone was much more aggressive than the second, and so played it a little bit safe on that second outside zone. On this final transition here, you can see he gets the car to angle and then adds a little bit more angle, so maybe taking off a few points as well in style, but it's just through the power alley that we call, where you see the most dramatic off of the walls disparity between the back bumper and the wall.
Trent Beechum waiting for his score, getting allotted here. Just a picture perfect day, and the forecast is to be the same as we're seeing here today, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah, given all the rain we've had in Southern California.
75.33, you see that X factor just down a while. So yeah, I mean, you can see zeros and just 2 from one of the judges. So again, that's averaged out 75.33 for Trent Beechum.
And the way that I like to think about X Factor, Jared, is it's above and beyond all of the things that you can check off in line, angle, and style. It's those things that are almost undescribable that some drivers bring to the table where you just say, that was better. And we can describe that by throttle control, by the commitment, by the rate to angle, things that are in the category of line, angle, style, but are not explicitly defined in the current qualifying format, and so they are X factors.
Like I said, special sauce, right? I mean, everybody loves ice cream, but a little hot fudge on top, oh, that's what I'm talking about, right? Hey, send a shout out to all our fans, and of course we got Eric Kendricks, who just signed with the LA Chargers. He's in the building. He's hanging out with the Accelerate family over there. So Eric, big car guy, he's in the building. Thanks for joining us. And I talked about Vaughn Gittin Jr. He is not racing and competing in this competition, but we'll see him in Atlanta. And Vaughn is here in the building, spotting and just hanging out. Is that a beer? Okay, cool. Whatever. I mean, I guess you're not driving. It's cool. No, I'm joking. He doesn't have a beer in his hand.
When they finish the run,
just seeing him up here. Seen a few of the drivers up here. Mike Powers up here. He's hanging out. And here we go. Let's go back to the action. Joao Barion, another Brazilian driver behind the wheel on this Monster Energy Corvette. Oh, buddy, coming in hot. Woo! How did he save that? Wow, that got real risky. Oh, no. Joao just whipping that thing in. I thought he was going to the tire wall. He saved the car, and he ends out coming unscathed. But will that be a complete run? I know in the judges meeting, the drivers kind of requested the finish line being pushed so it's not as long, right, Ryan? But is that enough?
Well, you can see right there the marker on the wall. It looks like he's just right in front of it. Obviously, he had an absurd angle coming out of outside zone number 2 that prohibited him from getting all the way out to outside zone 3. So we were going to see some big deductions there, but it's really the finality of this run coming to an end right before the finish line, and it looks like he will register it incomplete. Here it is again. Such an aggressive driver right here. This angle is just crazy, pushing towards that tire wall, and you can see he has to pull himself off of that outside zone number 3, then the transition back around, and he's literally inching towards the finish line. You can see the yellow marker on the wall there, but finishes ahead of that last of the marker that designates the finish line for this course. So unfortunately for him, it will be an incomplete.
Such a bummer there for Joao. I mean, all this anticipation, all this hype. I mean, you could tell that car is definitely capable, but sometimes, I mean, you know, practice was insane. Everybody was just on it. So you really got to bring, I mean, the X Factor is just a perfect analogy. You got to bring it all here, man. The X Factor, the unknown. All right, so Joao Barion, unfortunately, will be receiving a incomplete. Ola Jaeger in the building says needs to get that wheel speed up. First time driving here. Last year, unfortunately, the car was not here, so he's watching from the sidelines. So technically, this is the first time he's competing here on the streets of Long Beach. All right, Ola Jaeger.
We're holding because drone is coming back up right now.
Okay, you see the scores ticking by up there. Again, a few incompletes. Joao Barion talking about Thorne. And this is how it all finished up last year. So again, Frederick Osbo will be the driver who qualifies last coming into this event. So Freddie comes out on top, mad field. If you can recall, I choose to forget it. Irwindale last year, wacky, wet, wild, insane. You know, Matfield had bad luck, went into that initiation and got wound up. So really unfortunate. But you know what's stoked? Frederick Osbo. Ryan Turkin finished up third in the championship, Denofa fourth, and Chris Forsberg finishing up fifth. That all-new Z. Mr. Jaeger leaving that start line, that Japan auto. And here we go. Did hit the cone, but again, it just being qualifying will not be a restart, obviously. Here we go. Mr. Jaeger trying to get that wheel speed up on the Kendas. Looks like he's playing a little bit of a safe line here, and this say that he brings it all the way out. Nice fluid transition in that third outer zone, and really tight to that inside clip. Look at that, just kind of weeble wobble in that last inside clip. Decent, you know, I really liked what he did and how he executed the third outside zone, but walk us through what you saw, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, you know, the intimidation factor of this course plays a huge role. It was a bit safe here on that first and second outside zone. You can see leaving about maybe 6 feet on both of those. A little bit closer on outside zone 2, 3. Crushing job there. Great job coming back, regaining some of those line points. Nice and smooth right here through this finish line. A tiny little adjustment. Let's take a look at it here again from the drone, the overhead. You can see lower angle and not pushing all the way out to those first and second outside zones. Good throttle control through there. You can see he's having that, he's modulating the vehicle to get it where he wants it to go, and just a tiny bit tight. Should have been a little bit later on that last inside clip, but obviously the big areas, Jared, are that first and second outside zone.
A lot of chatter going on right now. It's pretty awesome just seeing all the fans tuning in. Taking a look from the drone view. And I just mentioned Leticia Bafani. She's actually she was watching her dude Diego Higa compete. She'll be here in the building tomorrow. So again, hashtag FDLB. Let us know you're watching. Let your friends know. Tune in for our live qualifying going down. Scores coming in for the Japan Auto Toyota Supra. A 77 even for Mr. Jaeger there. Here we go, so 77. A lot of driving, a lot of judging. And this gentleman, unfortunately, no, that is not Darren Kelly. Darren Kelly is out. So Darren Kelly was to pull the line. I just found out Darren Kelly is out. Next, it is Kyle Mohan. So very unfortunate for Darren Kelly. Coming to us, you know, the heart of racing, coming to us from New Zealand, that Aston Martin, very unique vehicle. Unfortunately, unable to pull to the line. We'll see if he can make that second run or if he's completely out. We'll find out and get the update. There's Kyle Mohan, this gentleman from right down the street. Excited to see how this renewable lubricants, Mazda RX-8, the flex fuel. Yeah, getting out there. That Mazda trick, the lone road. Ooh, taps that back right corner. Hard, oh, and there we go, that back right, front right. Oh, tire is off. Ah, what a bummer for Kyle the Menace Mohan. Make sure he's okay. Not the way you want to start the season. Great looking car. Oh, look at that. That wheel just completely broke off.
Really tough hit there for Kyle. You could kind of start to see that building up a little bit. He got a pretty good start, had a decent initiation, slightly stepped, but he did get out to that first outside zone. And then things started going downhill on the second outside zone. Let's take a look if we can get close and on board with him. Pretty good through this section, and then right here, it's just too close. Taps it, front end starts washing out, then he's pushing. He's off throttle there, trying to save it. hits the wall. And right there, you can see the angle coming down. He's off throttle here, trying to get the car where he wants it to go, but unfortunately the wall was standing in the way. There's that little initiation, what the judges call a stepped initiation, where you go 1, 2. Great job on the wall outside zone 1, and then that tap right here just brings into the mix a bunch of different things that were too hard for Kyle to overcome. Gets into the wall, loses the wheel, and unfortunately, he will have an incomplete on run number 1.
Yeah, a lot of insult to injury here. Hey, round of applause for Kyle Mohan. He's out here putting in his time. Again, shout out to all the fans watching. Shout out to T-Bone, Tyson Bravo. How we doing, buddy? See you soon, kiddo. Crazy, crazy again, the progression of the vehicles, the cars, the builds, the champions. My son Parker's actually working over the Rockstar Energy booth. He's emceeing over there, so kind of following his dad's footsteps. He's over there announcing, so definitely excited. It's a family affair, excuse me. So, all right, we'll see if Kyle can get it back together. We'll see if Kyle can get it back together and complete his second qualifying run. That's the only way he's going to find his way into the top 32 for tomorrow's game day. We'll clean up the track and get Kyle off course, and we'll continue the action. Next up, Federico Sharifo. When we come back? No? Oh, well, no, he's not here. Okay, well, it'll be.
When you have a lot of money tied up in your transmission and differential in your car, kind of like I do in this one, this is a must-have. Royal Purple Max Gear High Performance Gear Oil. Even under severe squeeze film conditions caused by sudden shock, extreme high loads, or low RPMs, Max Gear helps reduce bearing wear. I am pretty sure we put this to the test more than anybody else. Slippery, synthetic, and complete with Centerlick technology, Max Gear reduces wear and friction, which allows your gears to run smoother, quieter, cooler, and longer. Drift tested and ready for your gears. Royal Purple Max Gear.
The magic of Rain-X. Okay, that's some serious Hollywood stuff right there. But with Rain-X Latitude water repellency blades, the magic is real. These blades apply a new longer lasting water repellency formula. The magic of Rain-X repels water from your windshield so water beads up and rolls away while you drive, giving you the clearest view possible. Treat your windshield for safer driving visibility with Rain-X Latitude water repellency wiper blades.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
TNT Radio. Experience ultra-high performance.
For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional Tire Stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
All right, well, we got the car off course. Hopefully Kyle can get it back together. And right before the break, told you that Federico is up next, but unfortunately he is not in the building. Next up, looks like I am seeing the vehicle of Jonathan Castro. Not seeing Ryan Little. He was intended to go next. Don't know if got it together. All right, so just gonna update. I guess Literal is not here, so unfortunately he will not run. Here goes Jonathan Castro, joining us from Dominican Republic. See the LTH Mobile One LTH, a new sponsor for his program, Toyota GR86. Could have been a little deeper there. Very smooth, fluid line there from Castro. And then tightens it right up to that inside clip. Well done by the Toyota-supported Toyota GR86. Like I said, a new sponsor for him. Always got a smile on his face. That cockpit is absolutely loaded with smoke. I saw him earlier. And yeah, take a look, Ryan.
Well, here's Jonathan Castro, and with 34 drivers that made it to the line here in qualifying, or really just two guys on the outside looking in, what are you trying to do? As we take a look, you get a better shot of that D-cell light, the new D-cell light that we've designed on that car, showing you the momentum going up in green, and then yellow coming down, and then red if it goes to D-cell. And you can see Castro, I wouldn't say this is a safe run. It definitely is a bit more on the conservative side. He starts off pretty strong on that first outside zone. I like the throttle control here through outside zone number 3. Draws a good line to that touch and go. And a little bit more of a late apex there, but does push slightly wide. So I think this will be a pretty good keeper score for him. We do know that there's going to be some drivers that in that bottom 8 are really going to have to push it with those incompletes, but one of them is not Jonathan Castro as he lays down a scoreable run.
I don't know if you heard me, I actually chuckled a little bit because you're like, well, it's kind of a safe run. I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but we started things off with that banger James Deane run, Forrest Wang, so
yeah,
by comparison.
Everything's going to be judged against that. It is weird though, because usually when we haven't gone reverse order for years,
right.
And now that we are, you wouldn't typically see a Forrest Wang and James Deane at the beginning. That would be with the old school,
right.
Last year's, kind of situation. But it's interesting because now we're going to have those guys sitting there for who knows how long, and then we'll get to the Osbos and the Denofas, and
yep.
That's going to be, probably, I don't know, 30 minutes away maybe, because we're still just barely, not even halfway yet.
Yeah, no, not even. So 78.66. So the X factor there, you see 2 out of 10. So needs to bring it. Maybe that's more of in line with what you said. Like not a safe run, not a kind of a modest run, but You got to bring it.
I do like the idea of drivers being awarded for that extra.
Yep.
You know, and we are seeing that they are really not giving those X factor points unless you do something very dynamic, risky, and even in certain sense calculated to accomplish what you want.
Alec Robbins comes in a view of the judges, tries to get out of the outside zone, non-stop tuning. Nissan Z coming from Minnesota. Woo, you saw him just massage it into that last outside zone. Robbins whips it in, kind of overshoots that, maybe flirt with that wall there. Alec Robbins again picking up a new sponsor, non-stop tuning. They've been supporting drifting for quite a long time.
This is a run for me that actually is a good example that has some X factor elements to it, even though I think he's going to get banged on the line a little bit and some of the line angle style criteria. He does get close to outside zone 3, but you can see he's driving so aggressively on that initiation, great rate to angle. You can tell that he is pushing the car, even though there will be some deductions taken off for those top 3 categories. Here he is going to outside zone number 1, then 2. Nice fluid transition there. Getting to outside zone 3, and you can see here we go, ready for this one? Perturbation in the smoke line.
Wait, what? What's the word of the day?
Well, that's one I brought. I brought that one back.
Okay, which one?
Perturbation.
Gesundheit. What's the definition of what you just said?
It means there's like no punctuation in his smoke line. It's showing me that he's committed to the throttle. You can see right here pretty much all the way through on that transition. From here on out, it's smoke, 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 and you can hear the car as well. And then on this final little section here, he lets it float out and then throttles through the finish line.
Perturbation.
Perturbation.
No. All right, we got a sold-out crowd here. We got a sold-out Friday, dude. You know that? Like, literally, I'm trying to get my family in here, and they're like, no, we're sold out. No, we got
tomorrow.
What's that?
Tomorrow we're sold out.
We're sold out for today.
Who told you that?
They said there's no more. Rachel and Cass.
That's news to me.
Yeah. 81.33 for Alec Robbins. 81.33. All right, so look at that. 06 from our Canadian judge.
Yeah, I knew there would be some X factor coming down for that one. You can see there is some variance there, a 2, 3, and a 6.
All right, moving them right along. Another all-new Ford Mustang. Here we are in K&N air filters, qualifying in that Pedal Commander burnout box, Mr. Adam LZ. You know, there's a lot of Adam LZ fans either easy for me to say, in the building or online. Adam LZ running that RTR vehicles, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. New livery for him. Again, this vehicle will be reskinned with Von Kitten Jr.'s graphic for his rounds, but it is the same chassis, so they're sharing this vehicle. Mr. Adam LZ leaving the start line. Let's see what he can do in the all-new Ford Mustang. In practice early, he did get into a tussle with a wall. So comes into view, into that first outside zone. Nasty flick. Whoa, buddy. And unfortunately, Adam LZ spins.
Obviously, this was a little sketchy there. Broadcast earlier, Jared, but in practice, when he had that collision with the wall, it was in a very similar area under similar circumstances. Too much angle coming into that section of the course, hit the back, and then the front got into the wall as well. I talked real briefly to Von Kitten Jr. He said, look, like it looks crazy, but this is the way the cars are built. They're completely modular for us to be able to make these repairs, get it back out on course. And it looks like Adam has not shaken everything out of his system just yet. On the transition, he gets bounded up, and just too much angle going to that third outside zone. Big plume of smoke as he tries to save it, but not able to. Does save the car, so he will get one more chance as he has to go to the second run.
Unfortunate turn of events for the content creator, YouTuber, and all-around car guy, piloting that RTR Ford Spec 5 FD. Will have to be defaulted to his second qualifying run. Again, the format this year, the top 24 qualifying runs of the first run, they're locked and loaded. The remaining drivers will fight for the remaining spots, talking about those 8 spots. All right, Simon Olsen, brand new car, new team for him. Wait, that's not Simon Olsen, right? Is it? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So, yep, same. Simon Olsen is, again, threw me off there. I'm not used to a Super, but now he's part of that field suspension team on GT Radial Tires. Again, a very talented driver, changing it up here. Obviously, you can tell I'm working with Odie Bakshi. Simon Olsen getting out that third outside zone. Ooh, flirting with that. Quick little touch and go, and brings it across the finish line. Simon Olsen, again, him and Odie Bakshi's working together, a new vehicle, a new build for him.
Yeah, if you have your choice of teams to work with, Amy and Odie are one of the best in the business. You can totally see the logic there for him. Gets a little bit of a rough start. He's also playing it safe. These walls do not move. He was not able to get to that first outside zone or the second. Now coming back around to this final inside flip, the first and only. So it's going to be a scored run, but we will see some deductions on the initiation. Big, long e-brake pull coming out of that decel zone. Is quite a bit off that first outside zone. The second was better. The third better than that. And then the final inside clip, nice and tight. And a clean line at least. Even if it wasn't late apex, it was much cleaner than we've seen from some of the drivers that are pushing just a little bit too wide there and giving like a little bit of a wonky feeling in that last little section where the judges are trying to have to put an exclamation point on your run.
All right, so Simon Olsen with the full pull, like you said, just on the debut, on the maiden voyage of this vehicle. Gets a score on the board, and that's, that's saying something because, taking a look at, got a few incompletes and a few drivers that are not here, between, you got Thorne who had an incomplete, Josh Reynolds, he's a DNS, did not start. You got Darren Kelly, unfortunately, he had some issues. Josh Reynolds, he's out. Kyle Mohan, Federico, Ryan Littoral, so there's quite a few incompletes here. Still at the top of the leaderboard, though.
You know the concept of ring rust, like in boxing and mixed martial arts, like you've been away for a while.
Oh, yeah.
You think that is a thing from off-season till now?
Absolutely,
for some? Yeah.
Absolutely. 78.3 for Mr. Olsen. Yeah, 100%. When I went to go see Jeff Jones and the Evo Auto Works debut, I was talking with Jeff, and he's like, dude, I haven't sat and ripped since Irwindale. Like that's, just gonna put it out there. I mean, sorry, Jeff, we gotta let everybody know. And absolutely, ring rust,
Well, one of my favorite questions at the press conference on Tuesday was somebody asked Vaughn, do you think, you've lost a step or something like that? And he pretty confidently answered no. And the reason why was because he's never stopped driving.
Right. No, he's absolutely busy. All right. Nick Noback, the Noback Racing Co. BMW. Great looking new livery. GT Radial Tires. That third outside zone, very fluid, hammering down. Whoa, buddy! Whip into that last inside clip. That was solid right there. He was really flirting with that wall, that touch and go. And we've seen some cars getting broken off there before. So Noback. Maybe Noback.
I love the approach here, Jared. I just don't think the execution was at the Noback level. You can see on the initiation he was going for big angle there. It didn't really fully complete it, and that pushed him on a tighter line that led him to not get to outside zone 1 and even outside zone 2 to a certain degree. On 3, he did much better, starts to pick up the pace. Here it is again right here. You can see he's not giving himself the appropriate line to get out to outside zone 1. On 2, he closes the distance there a little bit, and the same with 3. So now he's starting to get back on it here. Good smooth transition back around, just about maybe 18 inches off that final inside clip. And as we go on board here with the FPV, you get a closer look, flying underneath the bridge, pushing out to that outside zone. Much better execution there on the second half of the course by Nick Noback.
Let's see where Nick Noback lands. Again, running his own campaign this year on the GT Radials. See what we got for
Yeah, this is a crazy Friday. I'm glad everybody's skipping work and school.
Yeah, right on. You know what? Education, it's overrated. Money, nah. Yeah, you don't need to work. You're good. Just come to Formula Drift, where all your dreams come true. How we doing out there, Long Beach? Make some noise.
Let's go.
Oh, come on, Long Beach, make some noise.
Let's go.
There we go. Right on. There you are on the big screen there. Yeah, you got the little drone. Little Kev flying in the air. Kevy Kev. I don't know if that's Drift Idiot Sam Nalman's. All right, so saw Corey Hosford earlier. It's great to see Corey get the band back together out here. Nick Noback, 73.66. 73.66. All right, Deane Carnage Kearney. Deane Carnage Kearney. Back with that Dodge Viper. And James Deane still our #1 qualifier, 92.66.
Yeah, in some of our practices that we did, the scores were oftentimes coming down a little bit lower. And so I would expect that a score like 92 is actually going to hold up quite well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Deane Carnage Kearney, HyperNFT.io. Carnage on GT Radials. Very fluid line. Unfortunately, not as deep as I'm sure the judges would like, but good execution of that final inside clip.
So really where it matters on the line, getting out to those walls, you can see Deane having a little bit of trouble with that. It looked like the first outside zone, he was going to get out there and kiss that wall, but just missed it a little bit. And then more noticeable in outside zone 2. Let's take a look at it again. You can see right there, maybe about a foot off, and then about 2 feet off there, but the third outside zone, he's completely on an inside line, much tighter there. And we'll certainly get some deductions. I like the aggressive nature of the way that he finished up the run and kept the pace going. Good throttle control, snapping back and forth on those transitions, locking that angle in. Looked like the fluidity was pretty on point, but just leaving some points on the table or some deductions, depending on how you look at it, in that line category.
Excited to see Deane, just progress. He's got such a great attitude. He's having so much fun, building cars, doing content. He's, I know a lot of the drivers went out to Vegas. They're filming a show out there, and he's keeping busy, man. So I mentioned James Deane, and obviously Deane Carnage Kearney, another Irish driver. So I know Ireland's watching. Shout out to Deane's mom and dad. Here we are. We're up in the building. Say hi, Ryan, over there. See us? See, you're up on the screen. There we are. There you are.
Dan?
How you doing? Doing all right? Staying out of the heat? That's good. Ryan.
Yeah.
You're getting married in a couple weeks, dude.
Wow. Go ahead and report it to the whole world.
All right. So did you not want that public?
That's fine.
Well, now it is. I'm so sorry. I mean, yeah, okay. Anyways, Deane Carnage Kearney with 76.
You're not doing the thing?
What's that?
Are you mad you're not doing the ceremony?
No, I actually appreciate it. I would be honored, obviously, to officiate weddings, as I have Von Kitten Jr. and Larry Chen. I've officiated weddings.
There you go. Keep naming them.
Well, I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying these are friends of ours that people do know,
I
right?
know.
So, no, I would be honored, but it's also nice to just go and party and celebrate you, So as we are looking, look at this new car, Taylor Hull here, throwing down. I love the old school Comp Cams logo. Comes out swinging, he's coming in hot. Let's see what full pole hole's got. Stars and Stripes, baby. Putting on a stripe show down here on the track. Into that second outside zone over the bridge. Man, look at that wheel speed. That is a smoke machine. So a little off, kind of each of the zones, and then tighten it up. Again, it seems like he's got the power, but just that finesse. I think that's what we really need in order to massage it and get to those outside zones, and then just overcooked it and got to that inside clip. All right, so here we are again, taking a look at it. Ryan, what do you think of Taylor Hull's run?
I love the smoothness of the initiation that got him to lock on that angle. I know this is, for Taylor, wants to be a breakout year, get back to that top 10 finish. Starting off like this, it looks like he's got the pace. A couple mistakes there that are noticeable that will certainly get some deductions. Let's take a look on the approach to that first outside zone. Very clean there. Same with the second outside zone, but it's on the third outside zone. You can see he starts to slow up the momentum to try to push the butt of the car into that third outside zone, and then just a little bit too tight on that final inside clip.
Really excited to see, it just with Taylor's, previous seasons with that Cadillac, he really got it to work and got it to a point where it was really competitive. But I think he knew just, when you build a vehicle that is unlike anything else, you really don't have anything to go off of. So with look at that was good. Could have been a little more in there, but I love it. Again, it's great to see him in a vehicle that, parts are readily available. We've seen obviously how competitive these Corvettes are now, between somebody like Dirk Stratton, then obviously with Matt Field finishing second, almost getting the championship. So the Corvette is definitely a proven chassis. You're seeing a lot more of them, from your local Pro-Am events to Pro Spec, and obviously to here in Pro. Looks like almost, are we about halfway? Yeah, we are more than halfway through, again, our first judging run. So 74.66 for Mr. Taylor Hall. You see the X Factor, so again, could definitely raise the bar. Will that hold and get him in? Again, you just want to be in the top 24. That way you're guaranteed. All right, Mr. Stuke. All right, what do we got here? M-Spec vehicle. Always has, again, another driver. Big, long, flowing hair, big, long initiation there. This X Factor worthy? What do you think, Ryan? Here we go under that bridge. The M-Spec S chassis into that last outside zone. How's he going to finish? How's he going to put an exclamation point on it? Oh, that was a wide swing, Ryan. Big swing there for the M-Spec driver.
Yeah, Daniel Stuke was a driver to be reckoned with last year, had some really high points in the season, showed a lot of driving prowess. I love that approach on the initiation. You can see it's slightly stepped. He gets to angle and then adds a little bit more, slightly off that first outside zone, better on the second. Approaching outside zone 3, maybe about a foot off there at the peak point. And then right here, flowing into that final outside zone and a big hold up in momentum there around that last inside clip. But good aggressive approach overall. You like to see a driver really behind the wheel with tenacity, and he was able to do that. Just missed a few areas, and especially on this last section here, goes way past that final inside clip, loses momentum, and then has to get back on the throttle. Now that is an area for head-to-head where passing is legal, and so you can make a pass on an inside clip if a lead driver were to go too far offline. And you can see here, imagine if somebody was diving down in right now at proximity, that would certainly be possible.
Yeah, it just gets, sometimes, you don't want to go for the pass, though. Just keep it, keep it next to the door. And that's really, I think, what's going to show even better, kind of driving prowess. What are your thoughts there? What do you think the judges would favor? Kind of dive in and go for the pass, or go and door them?
Get game, man. Pass. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Just game
Do it.
You're saying dive in?
Dive in, pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't hit.
Just don't hit. No hitting.
Don't impede.
Bad baby. No squeezy. Are you watching Mandalorian?
No.
No? You're not a Star Wars guy?
I mean, I am, but I'm not watching that.
You've been busy, man. You've had some crazy days here. 80.3. Look at that. Ooh, 0.54. So all over the board for Stuke. 80.33, but hey, look at that. Puts him into the 5th position. That's going to hold up. We're going to see Stuke in the head-to-head. Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah. Get ready for your eardrums to be blown out. I will tell you, I think Odie might have the trophy of the loudest car here this season. Here we go, Stuke. That carbon Kevlar, great looking car. Now comes into, oh boy. Pride of Paducah shutting her down. Running that field suspension. New wheels, he designed his wheels working with Lightspeed, really cool. Take a look, and Vitor, a new tire sponsor, supporting a few different drivers. So a new tire manufacturer coming into the mix. Taking a look at the K&N qualifying results. Again, right now, James Deane, 92.6, Forrest Wang, 88.3, and Alec Robbins at 81.3. So again, we're taking the top 24, but look at all those incompletes. I mean, that's 6 drivers right there. I believe, you know, if you get a score, you're going to be locked in the top 24.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way, Jared.
Yeah.
There seems to be, you know, a little bit of nervous energy in the building with the drivers. We did see, I guess, some evidence of that in practice. We had quite a few wrecks. You know, you can always tell if you're in the venue when there's a wreck and you're not watching, it goes quiet, yeah. Right? And, you know, running around the venue like I was, it went quiet quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so you could just tell the drivers are like, coming into the season, got a little bit of nervous energy. You have to be super careful with that as a competitor in this particular course. And, you know, there's a school of thought that just let it go.
Right.
Just go, you know?
I just think it's crazy that, you know, you have this off season, the silly season. Like you said, some drivers don't stop driving or they park it like I was talking about, but we throw them into the most unforgiving track right out of the gates, you know? Yeah. And I could laugh about it because, you know, those that can't do, teach, and those that can't teach, announce about it. So,
well, there probably is no better venue to start a season than beautiful Long Beach.
Oh, that's great.
You know, the
city's really accommodating to us as well.
Oh, totally. I mean, the folks that have helped us, you know, all of the family at the Long Beach Grand Prix, and the city and everybody that comes together for this event that kind of leads into the Long Beach Grand Prix would not be possible without them, and that's because they are motorsports fans and they love drifting.
How was the parade? I was unable to
sick.
make it.
Parade was
sick.
It
was. I saw the photos and saw the videos. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, the Tanaka family, shout out to them. You know, you got Jim and you know, shoot, even Sam Kaskanian. Always great hosts out here. So thanks to the, like you say, our Long Beach Grand Prix Association team and of course the city of Long Beach. You can see the score ticker there, all those incompletes. Unfortunately, hopefully they can get it back together. Entering that Pedal Commander burnout box. You're looking at Mr. Mike Power, and of course with Jonathan Hurst coming to a halt right on initiation, that would be an incomplete. Pulling up to the line, the Type S S15, Mike Power. He's been a busy man off season. I know he's been driving. He's been doing a lot of different things. He's excited to put this thing on the box. Picked up, you know, he's been working with Type S for over a year now, but you know, it's a big logo on the door. Let's see what Mike Power's got for us. Coming into view of the judge's naked eye. That first outside zone transition, you can see the green lights are on. The momentum is forward. Needs to get out there. Here's a shovel. Can you dig it? Oh, it takes out that inside clip. So we saw this, you know, we saw this earlier from another driver where failed to get those outside zones and then takes out that front clip. So unfortunate line, not the prettiest as one would say, but still he's going to get a score, which is good, which is what we talked about, just don't get it incomplete, right?
Yeah, with line being 40% of your score, you can just see that when the drivers are offline, they're not getting to the deepest parts of these zones. It is so noticeable, and it makes it very difficult for them to kind of make up ground in other categories. So missing the first outside zone, the second not so great, the third not so great. A little bit too tight on that final inside clip. You can certainly appreciate the threshold that he was driving past in terms of throttle control, being aggressive, but just not committing to that line that the judges want to see in all areas of the course is certainly going to bring that score down.
All right, Mike Power, definitely some room for improvement, but if he gets a score, he should be in the mix. Just taking a look, again, 34 drivers coming in, as Sharifa was not here, Josh Reynolds was out. So just get a score, get in the mix. Awaiting Mike Power's score. Look at this. This is Southern California. And next weekend, the Long Beach Grand Prix, 74.66. So should be he'll be chopping it up tomorrow in head-to-head. Oh man, this guy, he gained a lot of fans last year. He won an event last year. Where was he at? It was St. Louis? St. Louis, thank you. St. Louis, Kazuya Taguchi, absolutely elated. He's been a busy man, you know, just feeding his fans cool content, just having some fun. And Jerry Yang Racing. Jerry Yang, a long-time engine builder and fabricator, so it's great to see Jerry produce that victory for him and Kazuya Taguchi. This up garage, 86. Let's see what Kazuya Taguchi's got in store for us. More importantly, the judges. Up garage ISR performance. Whoa, look at that, taps it, gets a little out of shape, throws him offline. Ends up coming back with authority. Wow. That third outside zone, ripping. Look at that. Really tight on that last inside clip. So, Ryan, pretty well done here. You saw, you know, obviously his line get affected when he came into that first outside zone. He taps the wall, gets out of shape, and that's what threw him off that second outside zone.
Well, you know, I've said in the past that I would much rather see a driver make a mistake by being overly aggressive than not doing enough by being tentative. And this is an example of Taguchi pushing the limits very, very hard, getting into the wall on that first outside zone. Comes down with nice pace. He's on the throttle pretty early, pushes out. You can see that left rear tapping there. It does affect the line a little bit. It will not be an incomplete, and he does get right back to that second outside zone. And this final wraparound here, slightly tentative on that transition, which is the only area where I feel like he could have been at an equal level of aggressiveness as he was right here. But there will be a mistake taken from that particular section. You have to applaud them, though. I love seeing drivers pushing the limits, and if they do go over, it's much better than seeing a kind of safe and stock run.
Brian, walk us through what the 3-2-1 cone is. It's basically the point of no return when you need to initiate. Walk us through what's hanging on the front.
Yeah, so 3-2-1 is more or less a countdown, and you need to be sideways braking traction by the one. And so that particularly plays a role in tandem because the chase driver needs to have some level of predictive power on when you are going to initiate. And so this is a tool that we have that says, hey, you got to be initiated by the one cone.
Yep. All right, so the point of no return, again, the 3-2-1. A lot of smoke being kicked up back there. All right. Pedal Commander burnout box being filled up by Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones pulling to the line. Still that 92 holding up with the, again, second driver of the day, that 92.6. He's chilling, man. 78.66, so 78.66 for that.
You can actually see that the judges still awarded him for that aggressive nature, even though there was some mistakes. It puts him in the top 10, and you can see the average here. And Nishida has consistently given lower scores on the X Factor, and you know that's fine as long as he's consistent with that for everybody. Right. But he really wants to see something specific for them to get those X Factor points.
Man, tough critic here, Robbie.
Making it clear.
Bushido blade.
Come over, messed everything up.
All right, so Jeff Jones here, Evo Auto Works, Nissan 370Z, and the supercharged LS. Here comes Jones. A little yank of the handbrake, now back on throttle. Works it out to that first outside zone. Jeff Jones comes up a little bit short on the second. Into that final outside zone, and how's he gonna hit this final clip? And he navigates it properly. Jeff Jones.
Yeah.
New livery for him. Evo Auto Works supporting him. out in Redlands, California. What do we got?
Really enjoy the tempo of this run. You can see that aggressive flick. That e-brake pull is about the latest that I like to see before they get on throttle, but it pays dividends for him there as he gets to that first outside zone. He's a little bit off the second. The third, he gets pretty close there, maybe pushed it a little bit too long. And then this final transition here to this inside clip, he's just a little bit too far, but he does push out with throttle maxed out through the finish line. And I think that he will be awarded for this. You have to appreciate getting close to those walls, whether it's the first, second, or third outside zone. If you can do all three, you really can be, you know, more or less expecting a mid-80s score or better.
Hey Ryan, just an update. Darren Kelly, who comes to us from New Zealand, piloting an Aston Martin, he just sent me a message that says he broke a valve in the head of his engine. Obviously, he's gutted. He said he was feeling good. So, shout out to you, and hopefully we'll see you.
Done?
Yeah, he's done. So we'll see him in Atlanta. Mad Mike watching over the pond. Speaking of another Kiwi, shout out to Mad Mike and the Woodette family. Get fired up, people. How we doing out there? You're on the camera. You're across the globe. Have you seen Mad Mike's Pikes Peak car, the rotary Mazda 3 Kawato-san from Magic Japan built?
I have not.
Dude, it's a weapon. It's gonna be sick. So 80.3. Look at Jeff Jones. Okay, look, Robbie can give away points. Look at that, 2 points.
Well, you notice like
so
the difference, right? He's the highest score on the 3 criteria, but the lowest on X Factor. So he's certainly established himself so far as a judge that really wants to see the drivers push to get those X Factor points.
I'm loving the variety of it changing up, man. I think this is really great. Brandon Sorensen, the young buck from Las Vegas, that United States Air Force BMW. Gets all the way out there. Yes, sir. Snaps back under the bridge, picking a pedal commander on his car. Oh, look at that. He sheds the back bumper, the trunk, and now around that final clip. Brandon Sorensen and the Sorensen Motorsports team, him and his sister. His sister is going to be piloting Pro Spec. So we'll see her at the Pro Spec rounds. Amanda's here in the building. She's getting some insight here.
All things being equal on this run, Jared, he comes out super aggressive, beautiful, nice and smooth on outside zone 1 and 2. Now he does tap the wall here and adjust the attitude a little bit of the car, but I think he is going to be rewarded for those first 2 outside zones. You can see the final inside clip, which obviously is an important part of the course. He does go a little bit wide there, but he's making these mistakes like this one here in an aggressive way. And we've seen so far the judges will award for that as long as you don't incomplete or really drastically change the attitude of the car. First and second outside zone, however, were done very well. Seems super confident behind the wheel, comfortable, and he's giving us quite a bit of a show here as we make our way through this driver's list.
Take a look at Brandon's run once again. Brandon competing in the Pro since last year, and excited to see this rising star in the Formula Drift world. Again, his sister, she's racing Extreme E as well, which is really cool. Look at this, we got a packed house here on Friday. Thanks for skipping school, skipping work. 83.66, that's an 83.66. Nice job, Slides.
Yeah.
Look at that, the most X Factor points we've seen. Ryan, see that?
Yeah, and so 2 judges go halfway, one goes about 60%, and so you can kind of see what they're looking for. They are really looking to push the limits, especially in those outside zones and where there is a critical area or areas where the car can get damaged, you can be out of competition. Really wanting those drivers to push hard and maximize those performance points in the form of X Factor.
All right, we got Rome Charpentier. This guy, the Garage Stick BMW. Again, another driver that just gained a lot of attention, raised some eyebrows, definitely a threat. Never count him out. Here we go. Rome Charpentier leaving the start line. Rome aggressive initiation. Oh, almost getting all the way out there. But definitely knocks him dead there in the outside zone 2 and 3. And one more clip for glory. Boom, right there. Right up in that inside clip.
Yeah, given what we've seen so far, Jared, I think this is going to be a highly scored run. The one thing that sticks out to me, besides the commitment, even though he's not all the way out to the walls and scraping bumper, is the smoothness of the run. He's linking this together in a way where the transitions from one side to the next, from zone to zone, are so smooth that you don't see any hiccups in the car at all. You're not seeing any modulation. You're not seeing any up and down of the shocks compressing or anything like that as the driver makes an adjustment. And that's going to go to car setup. That's also going to go to driver skill, the commitment, and being locked in and where he wants to go. Great job by Rome Charpentier.
Rome Charpentier, again, another driver. A new tire manufacturer, Ryan, entering the chat here.
Yeah, no, it's great to have both Kenda and Vitor on this year supporting drivers. You know, we do a very unique situation where there is no spec tire, and so it's really about going out and finding tire manufacturers that want to be a part of this great sport and can supply tires, support drivers, and bring a level of competition that we expect here in Formula Drift.
Yeah, it's great. And seeing all these sponsors. We got Sim Magic, the official simulator. If you haven't seen that, they got a variety of different setups. They got a display here at the booth, but check them out. Sim Magic, from the steering wheels, the pedals, the seats. So check them out. Again, thank you to Accelerate, their support. University of Northwestern Ohio. Also, what's really cool is we're selling the Type S product. So if you come here, look at that, a 90.3.
Let's go.
90.3. Ryan, you called it, man. You looked into your little crystal ball. I'm looking into mine right now.
Yep.
And
crystal head.
With that 90.3. So great job by Rome. So still can't knock off that old James Machine Deane. He's sitting tall in more ways than one. Dude's like 6'8". Odi Bakshis is on the line, I'm telling you. Kids, Amy, I think you guys have the loudest car out there on grid. I looked over and she gave me a big smile and thumbs up. All right, well, hide your kids, hide your wife. Here comes Odi Bakshis. That field suspension, GT radial. Nissan, look at that, nice job on that first outside zone. Comes up a bit short on the second outside zone. Very shallow, very as Ryan would say, un-Odie-esque. Wraps it around that final clip. Take this into consideration, Ryan. Odie's been running on Falcon tires for so many years, and, Falcon tires, not good, it's not goodbye, it's maybe see you later, but he's never run on anything else.
Yeah, certainly there's going to be an adjustment, and you can see just how critical the line is at outside zone 2 for connecting those final last outside zones, 2 to 3. He was a little bit off that second outside zone and wasn't able to manipulate the car in a way that would maybe provoke a mistake or make a bigger movement in the vehicle than the judges want to see. And you can see he leaves a little bit of line points on there, but he starts off so good in that first outside zone. Great angle right up against the wall. Good flowy run. Just a little bit left on the table in that second and third outside zone. Here it is again. I mean, right there, 4 inches, 6 inches. But there as he transitions, doesn't get as deep as he should into that outside zone. And it just forces him off the wall a little bit more than he would like. Good little execution there. A tighter line through that inside clip, but gets right into it. And overall, this is going to be a solid run for Odi Bakshis.
All right, waiting for Odi's overall score, 92.6. James Deane, your leader, sitting in second. Rome Charpentier after a great run. And Forrest Wang re-entering the chat. So again, that Yellow Speed Racing vehicle, 88.3 with his score. Brandon Sorensen sitting in fourth. And top 5 driver, Alec Robbins, sitting in 5th. All right, let's see what we get from Odi here. Remember, a sold-out crowd tomorrow, so unfortunately, don't show up expecting like, I just came to get tickets. Nah. All right, 85 and 85 for Odi Bakshis. So taking a look, Ryan, here, qualifying score 81 right, so, and then that X Factor. So, Odi Bakshis with an 85 even. All right, next up, look at this, the day one OG, Kenshiro Gushi. 2 remaining drivers in the FD grid that actually competed in Atlanta. One of them, Kenshiro Gushi. We've seen this boy grow up from a boy to a man. Here we go, Ken Gushi. That 3's racing. Monty's GR 86. Yo, gets out there. That 3rd outside zone, very clean, fluid line, and just as I said, he takes out that inside clip run.
Yeah, Gushi quietly put together a solid season last year. He had that win in Salt Lake City. He's got one of the coolest looking cars on grid with the eyelids. Takes a different approach on the initiation, a quick run up to snap, and then he's not able to carry that momentum to the first outside zone. Pretty smooth through here on the 3rd. Gets into a little bit of trouble here. It's a nice transition back around, but a little bit too tight on that final inside clip for Ken Gushi.
All right, so Ken Gushi, let's see where he lands. Him and his team has been campaigning his own vehicle last few years, and he's having a lot of fun. Seems like he's got, you know, a good spirit. Him and his homies, you know, they're throwing down. They debuted the car the other night at Bowles, downtown Los Angeles. It's on Nexon Tire this year. All right, we are getting down to the final drivers. We have just a few left here of their first qualifying run. 7 drivers remain. And again, we end qualifying with our back-to-back and 3-time champion, Fredrik, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. Nice little breeze blowing through, clearing out the smoke. And there it is, a 78-78 for Ken Gushi. 78 for Ken Gushi. Are you kind of, all right, so Ken Gushi, again, 7 more drivers left. Next up, Travis Reeder. Travis Reeder in the LS-powered BMW from the Pacific Northwest. Let's see how we go. He picked up a new sponsor here. Coming now into view, the Nicholas BMW. Into that 3rd outside zone. Nicholas on GT radial tires and wraps it around that final inside clip. Nicholas, a video game developer. So picked up that title sponsor for him. I was talking with Reeder earlier, and I was just like, man, I'm tired. I'm just, you know, he's like, I was like, oh wait, I'm complaining to the wrong guys right now. These drivers are absolutely thrashing to get their cars prepped, done, dyno, tuned, dialed. So taking a look at this run, you see overhead view, good line there, getting to that final inside clip. So again, right before that final inside clip is a touch and go. Get the overhead view. He gets all the way out there on the second under the bridge. Nice drag right there. Dang, he was deep on that 3rd outside zone. Very fluid. You see a quick little slowing down there. That is a touch and go. And then just back on throttle across the finish line. Like I said in the driver's meeting, the judges, I believe everybody agreed to actually make the finish line closer to the inside clip. Did they end up doing that? I think slightly. Just, and that's gonna, I think that's gonna assist when the cars get around that final clip, they can shut it down kind of quicker. So that's gonna assist in maybe some saving some cars, salvaging some cars. Got Brian Eggert sitting next to me. He's just waiting in the wings if any issues erupt. He's going to mediate any driver scenarios. Sean Adriano helping us out on the instant replay. But again, Robin Ishida, Chris Yule, and Ryan Lontaine. During tomorrow, our brackets will get Lontaine and Robin Ishida on here with an 83.66. That's Travis Reeder with an 83.66. A strong position for Mr. Reeder.
Well, Jared, we are seeing that X Factor is not an easy thing to get awarded here. The judges definitely laying down the gauntlet, want those drivers to push it as hard as they can. Here we go, Dylan Hughes up next.
Dylan the Dozer Hughes. That royal purple BMW. Yeah, got that. The Max Restore on the hood. Shout out to Rusty. He couldn't make it, but cheering on from Texas, the royal purple BMW. Dylan the Dozer Hughes.
Big win for him last year in less than ideal conditions. The craziest conditions I think we've ever seen at an event in Orlando. Really showed a great diversity in his driver skill set. Now let's take a look at Long Beach here. Not really out to that first outside zone. The second one, much better. Third leaves a little bit off of that line as well. And then pushing into this last inside clip, coming up a bit tight. So seeming a little bit off here for Dylan Hughes compared to what we're used to. Great smoke line, the throttle control, aggressiveness is all there, but just, the finer details is where those points are gonna be taken off the top.
All right, and Ryan, as you said, we both, Orlando last year, lightning struck like really close to us. I remember looking over at you and you're like, oh my God. You were so flabbergasted by the weather. And coincidentally, the boys from Pacific Northwest, they got it done. Because right thereafter, Travis Reeder, goes and gets that victory in Jersey.
Well, we had 2 all-time weather events last year, one at Irwindale, one in Orlando, both which had lightning strikes within 5 miles, and that just means, metal and lightning strikes don't work. It's just complete chaos.
All right, an 82 for Dylan Hughes, an 82. Congratulations to him. So 82 even. You can see the scores and how it aggregates across the board. And next up, finishing a 5th overall last year, 3-time champion, Chris the Force Forsberg. Debuted that all-new Z last year. Just picked up a street weapon of his. Saw it over in the booth earlier, but Chris the Force Forsberg in the all-new Z. He's running that VR engine as well out of the GTR. Let's see what Chris has got for us. Another OG. Just his birthday the other day. Happy belated birthday. The Force now into that first outside zone. Comes up a little bit short. Big massive snap. That might be X Factor worthy. Now into that third outside zone and bringing it into that final inside clip. Little pop and lock does nudge that inside clip out of the way. Again, I really like that snap going from 1 to 2. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Oh, totally, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things I noticed in watching Chris through media day and practice was that he was certainly seemingly more aggressive in those snaps, like quick rate to angle, locking it in, and you can see he demonstrates that right here as he goes right to lock, just a little bit off that zone. But
sick.
This is super aggressive from him. I know we spent so much time, talking and setting the tempo for Osbo, who just won a championship. He's got 3, and Deane, who's got 3. But we have to remember, this is the other and the original 3-time champion, Chris Forsberg. He's always in the top 5. He's known for his consistency, and you have to know he wants to take another run at it.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely wants to go for it. All right, so for that overhead really showed how, boom, watch it. Look at that. Look at the front wheels. They just were locked and loaded, man. They just, that car, just the attitude of it. Set it and forget it.
If you're paying attention to, the lights coming down the windshield as well, you can see there was a lot of green from Chris there, which just indicates he's moving forward with momentum aggressively and consistently.
I think this should score pretty well. Again, 92.6. Is it enough? No, it's not, but still a great score. 86.66. Look at that. Some of the highest scores of X Factor across the board, so you can see how that averages out But 86.6 puts him into 4th position. He's going to park the car. We'll see him tomorrow. All right. This is the final 5 after Irwindale, and again, that's the order we're going to see them from the bottom to the top. That's how it ended. Osbo, Field, and Turk. And Ryan, you brought up that crazy rain in Irwindale, and that changed the course quite a bit of what could have been. Again, Matt Field had some bad luck there going on initiation, going in the wall, and that's where it kind of all came apart. But Matt is hungrier than ever. All right, Chelsea Denofa, another pilot of the all-new Ford Mustang. Got the Pennzoil BC Racing Mustang RTR Spec 5 MT. Whoa, buddy, look at that tap-in bumpers. That's right, bumper and dent repair brought to you by Denofa. Speedy delivery, got the pizza, riding shotgun. Chelsea Denofa brings it and wraps it around.
Yep, I can tell you
That's
right
solid.
there. I can tell you right there.
You said it would favor a driver like Chelsea.
Well, that is going to be, I think, the best example. You know, if not Deane's, going back to what the judges are looking for from X Factor, because it's total commitment, it's maxing out the angle, it's pushing the car to the limits, and it's doing it cleanly. Watch on this initiation. There's barely any kind of notice from when he gets off throttle to when he picks it back up. Right there, he's back on. Huge smoke line, pushing out to the outside zone. I mean, that's perfect. That's a foot off. Huge angle into outside zone 3. Maintains momentum. Good transition back around. Lets it float perfectly, pushes out once again. For sure, this is gonna be one of our best runs that we've had so far today. And he is showing why. He is often referred to as the most talented drifter in the world. And a lot of times it just really comes down to what does he want to do in competition. This year it looks like he is focused on giving the best version of himself as he can. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the best run that we've seen all day. We'll see if the judges agree, but the X Factor was there for me. And he really didn't have too many noticeable mistakes.
And you know, you talk about this, the X Factor concept is going to favor drivers like Chelsea Denofa, but in the Outer Zone podcast when Jacob interviewed Chelsea, and I kind of said it, and he said it too, sometimes he just beats himself. So that X Factor is risking it, but that's if it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, it hurts you. And he even admitted, there we go, a 92. Look at that, X Factor, an 8. An 8. Yes, sir, a 92. But he even admitted, he says, dude, don't go to 11.
Look at that.
Go to 9.
No deviation in any of the scores. They all agreed across the board. That's incredible. No, Chelsea Denofa is X Factor.
Yeah, and
he is X Factor.
They are sitting next to each other, but they are not saying, hey, would you give him? Okay, I give him an 84 and an 82.
No.
Not at all. So just shows you good consistency there. So Chelsea Denofa jumps up to that number 2 spot and is only bested by James Deane by 0.66 points. So yeah. And our points accrued in qualifying. I know last year, you know, we had those 5 points in qualifying. Our points at stake in qualifying.
Indeed they are. There are championship points on the line.
Here we go, Ryan Turk in the Rain X Toyota GR Corolla. He's on those Nitto tires, those big meat hooks. Out back, nice snappy transition. Woo, and then second, outside zone, the third outside zone. Could we see a perfect run here? This is master class. Yo, Ryan Turk is back at it. He wants it. He wants the championship that has escaped him. You know, he's fought this track, it bit back, but I'll tell you what.
Chelsea and James's run were so good. But Turk took it to another level because he actually ping-ponged perfectly from zone 1, 2, and 3.
And snappy.
Snappy, committed, throttle control, smoothness, everything. Takes this center line approach, comes over, sets himself up. Now watch, he's on throttle right there, and he's exploding towards his first outside zone. Perfect. Perfect. Cannot get better.
Watch this. Boom.
Perfect. Cannot get better. I mean, there is just really nothing that Ryan Turk did
Could have been a little
here.
tighter on that inside clip.
Maybe, a couple inches for sure. But this is, I mean, we just saw, I think this favors Ryan a little bit in the sense that we just saw Chelsea score, right? And so the judges have to think, well, this is the score that we gave to Chelsea Denofa. How does this run compare to his? And for my money, he did some things better.
Yeah, just the refinement. You know, it didn't have that big snap, but you got to think about this vehicle, this compact, you know, the bumper overhang, right? That's risky. That's super risky for him. You know, Chelsea, he's known to rip through bumpers. You know, when you go and tap that bumper on a wall, your wheel's right there.
Oh, man.
So that was a gangster run. Where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Make some noise.
P1 last year, won last year. He's just continuing where he left off a year ago.
Wow, the Rockstar Energy driver throwing down Rockstar Energy drink, the official energy drink, 98.3. A damn near perfect score. And look at X Factor, 10 across the board. 98.33. Ryan Turk, guess what? The shark is out, man. We're right here. We're gonna need a bigger boat if you're gonna take down this guy. Again, like you said, the mindset of
there it is.
Being taken. Oh, look at that.
Wow, look at that. 10 on X Factor, 2 points, 1 point, 2 points. Crazy.
Wow, great job. So yeah, 2, 1, and 2.
He looks pretty buff right there too.
Yeah, he looks jacked. All right. So yeah. So 98.3, Ryan Turk takes that #1 spot in grandiose fashion.
This is Deane's run that we're looking at here for reference, so you can kind of see. We saw Denofa's, we saw Ryan Turk's, and now we're seeing Deane's, who was sitting on top at the beginning, and you can see he did get some points deducted for that inside clip. Had a lot of the same impact that Denofa had, and just 0.66 better, but Ryan Turk laid down a huge standard right there.
I don't think it favored James to go and qualify early. If that, I think, would that, do you think, been higher? Because you know what I'm saying? Like you said, out of the gate, you give him 100. All right, we'll get back to that. Here we go with a brand new title sponsor, this Borla exhaust. Corvette, the drift game. Corvette, oh no! Matt Field loops it. And that's going to be an incomplete with second overall in the championship. That Borla exhaust, heat wave, lean customs, great looking car, new look. The beast from the Bay, a major mistake. Going from outside zone 2 to 3. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, you know who's really hard on Matt? Matt. He's got to fight back, man. I know knowing Matt, he is a passionate gentleman, and the championship just escaped him at Irwindale. He wants it more than anything.
Well, I mean, you gotta push if you want to get that P1, 2, or 3 where championship points are. That is beautiful, but then he gets bounded up, and as he unleashes it into outside zone 2, it over-rotates, and he's not able to save it. So at that point forward, he's gonna have himself an incomplete, and now he will have to go and do that second run.
And there is our K&N Air Filters qualifying results as of now. But remember, one more driver left. But there is your 1, 2, and 3 Turk, Deane, and Denofa. Fredrik Osbo, the Norwegian Hammer, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota GR Supra. It's on Nitto tires, Ineos oil. The star is on his back, and the target is as well. Back-to-back and 3-time Formula Drift champion, Fredrik, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. There's the live data. You can see the momentum. And then going red. Here we go in that first outside zone. How's he going to do? Yep. The gold bumper dragging it on that first outside zone. Comes up a little, oh, wow. Comes up a lot of it short. That is very un-Osbo-esque. Ready. Leaves a lot on the table there from outside zone 2 and then from 3, middle of the road.
Well, we know that's not going to be the #1 qualifier.
Most definitely not.
And that means that Ryan Turk is going to be our K&N #1 qualifier. As we take a look at Frederick Osbo's run here, he does start off very Osbo-esque, right up against that first outside zone. The transition across leads him a little bit off that second outside zone, and then right there he's on a tighter line. And so he sacrificed a bit of line and X factor there, just nudging that inside clip as he pushes out towards the zone and finishes up the run. So overall, not necessarily the run you would expect from Frederick Osbo, but it's a good run nonetheless. We'll see where that puts him into the top 32.
Yeah, he's going to be in the mix. This could shake things up, you know, like where he's going to stand, where he's going to land, you know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll see like one side stacked because of the qualifying, but
for sure. And, you know, I mean, a top 3 in qualifying is super helpful. You know, those qualifying points do add up. There's 24 possible qualifying points available if you were the #1 qualifier at every event. So, I mean, that's a difference between a first and second place in the championship.
Well, again, the format here, every driver has one qualifying run. After the first qualifying run, the top 24 are locked into the 32. Guess what? We fill the remaining spots. Again, 25 to 32 with the remaining drivers that have their second qualifying run. So, again, the bottom drivers that aren't top 24, we'll re-rack them and track them to find out where they land. So, the good thing here is that, okay, here we go. I believe we're getting a score here for Frederick. That'll conclude our first qualifying run for all the drivers. Again, the bottom drivers, and there's Freddie with an 85.66. An 85.66. That puts him into 7th position. So, Ryan, the good thing here is that for the drivers that have incomplete runs, they need to put a score down. But the good thing is for anybody that goes and has to rerun, there's 32 drivers here. So everybody, as long as you turn, you know, the people that need to be concerned, Robert Thorne, Matt Field, Jonathan Hurst, Adam LZ, Kyle Mohan, and Joao Barion.
Get that score, basically.
Get a score, you're in head-to-head. You're in the show tomorrow. So just get a score. So again, there you are. Ryan Turk is our K&N Air Filters #1 qualifier. Congratulations to him. You see the remaining drivers. So Hughes, Robbins, Higa. Congratulations, Diego, in the mix.
And he will be up here. I know Ryan Turk, I got a note that Ryan Turk will be up here in the booth following qualifying to tell you all about his #1 qualifying run, Jared.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, so there it is. You could see all those, again, 24 to 32. So you're not seeing Mohan, and there they are, Mohan and Joao Barion. You know what? Let's take a look one more time at that epic run by none other than Ryan Turk, our K&N #1 qualifier. And that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla Rockstar can in the hand. When we come back, we'll see the second run from those drivers that didn't make it into the top 24.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
Rockstar energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift.
This is the road to the championship.
I've won the championship twice now. I think we can do it again. Let's go, let's do this.
Your winner at round one. Look at Osmo. He's a magician. Here we go. Rain or shine, these guys are down for a good time. You can't count anybody out.
Everybody's really pushing the envelope. One mistake and that's it.
Oh my goodness.
What did I do wrong? I don't get it.
So it's all about attrition here in St. Louis. We're in the playoffs, man. We are fighting for it tooth and nail. And Osmo goes hard. Matt Field, the guy to beat.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
It's going to be coming down to Irwindale, kids.
Is Matt feeling the pressure? Absolutely.
The championship is on the line. Ryan Turk, he says, hold my rock star, homeboy, let me show you something. Matt Field is out. Huge repercussions here. Your winner, Frederick the Norwegian Hammer Osbo! What an amazing ending to a 2022 season.
Foot on the gas, head on the floor, hopping out before the vehicle crash. I'm on the road, yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died. So that means you ain't bigger than rapping. So that means no more playing the back scenes. My spot is solidified if you ask me. My name is identified as that king. Wicked and weakness, you gotta see this.
But guess what? They're back. New season. Yep. Wash, rinse, repeat. This should be another exciting one here, Lonte. Whoa! Here we go. Send it! Long Beach.
Nobody pray for me. You've been out there for me. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the streets of Long Beach. Again, we completed all drivers their one qualifying run. Now the remaining drivers, who are Mike Power, Nick Noback, Adam LZ, Robert Thorne, Jonathan Hurst, Kyle Mohan, Joao Barion, and Wow, Matt Field, who finished second overall. So the good thing here is the drivers, Mike Power and Nick Noback, they are guaranteed in. With these remaining drivers, it would fill, if everybody gets a score, 32 drivers, because we had 32 going in. Just get a score, get in the books. You'll be in head-to-head competition tomorrow. Where you land, obviously 25th to 32, but I say Power and Noback are locked in because they already do have a score. So where they land is TBD. A beautiful afternoon here in Long Beach, California, man. Absolutely picturesque. You can just see a beautiful blue sky. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jared Deanna. Joining me here in the booth for qualifying, Ryan Sage. Ryan, it's great to have you up here, president of Formula Drift, co-founder, celebrating 20 years of Formula Drift. And are you going to be joining me at qualifying for every round? I know, tomorrow I'm going to get Robbie and Lontaine during bracket battles, but are you planning on joining me for every qualifying round?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to do, kind of an equal share rotation. We'll do 32 at some rounds, 16 at some rounds, kind of split it up a little bit. But wanted to be here to kick off the show with you.
Kick me off the show? Okay, later. See you guys.
Bye. Kind of set the tempo, explain the new judging system and format as best as I possibly can. Yep. And, most importantly, sit next to you. It's
thanks,
very
Mark.
exciting.
Thank you. How do you feel the new judging format was implemented? Do you feel
I like it.
justified?
I mean, I think that it's pretty clear that Ryan Turk's run was the number one run.
Big facts.
And it was awarded. And you could obviously see that all three judges were in agreement with what a quality, high-level, plus 95 score run looks like and should feel like, and that felt legitimate to me.
Absolutely. I like the format. Again, you shoot for perfect, you settle for good. I think I really like the X Factor concept. I think it awards that kind of, again, just that X Factor. So it's really cool. So here we go, the Pedal Commander burnout box being occupied and now exited by one, Robert Thorne. Now, Robert Thorne is sitting on an incomplete, a 0. He initiated, and remember, he hit the wall on that second outer zone. It straightened him out, and he hit the first outer zone, and it straightened him out, and that was enough to deem it an incomplete. All right. Tomorrow, that'll be filled with cars. The car show just across the track in the center part of it. Robert Thorne getting ready to send it. So we got eight drivers, 8 spots to fill, 6 of those with incompletes. Robert Thorne came out swinging last year, man, in Pro Spec.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he was just incredible.
And Robert's a real wheelman, more of a traditional racer. He's worked with ASM and the Smedegard Racing. It goes to Grid Life. He does a lot of road racing. He's, race McLarens, an absolute weapon when it comes to traditional road racing. And the ASM guys want to get involved in drifting. So it's great to see Robert, go from traditional, again, racing, coming and drifting and having fun. And he's just been a big advocate of, coming over to the drift world.
And he's one of the maybe less than 5 drivers that have actually done that successfully.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Robert Thorne leaving the start line. I saw him pull the trunk off of it. Again, he hit that wall on his first run. Let's see, just get a score, get in the books, and get in the show. Robert Thorne comes up a little bit short there. Maybe pretty gun shy here, Ryan. This is the first time he's competing because Pro Spec does not compete here in Long Beach.
That's mission accomplished, though.
Yeah, definitely some refinement, to be had there, but it's still just, as I said, get a score, get in the mix.
Yeah, once you kind of know what the strategy needs to be, it really just becomes about executing that strategy and not doing more than is necessary, taking that risk, bringing in, a risk quotient that just doesn't really need to take place in a situation where you just need to get a score on the board. Yes, positioning is important, but I'm not sure that they're thinking that deep into if I place 32nd, I'm going up against Ryan Turk. If I place 31st, you just really don't know.
You can't play that game, yeah. It's the chips fall where they may, man. So taking a look at this run here with Robert Thorne once again. The ASM team. Congratulations to him. They'll be in their first head-to-head battle in Formula Drift Pro competition. All right, some of the fans leaving us. Maybe their driver got in, but guess what? We are back at it tomorrow, baby. It's game day for the first time this year. 20 years, man. Oh, we are, yeah. Ryan, we have the potential to have the biggest, right? Wasn't last year's Long Beach the biggest event we had here? I mean,
last year's was, and then Road Atlanta became the biggest event that we had last year, and then New Jersey got close to that, and now Long Beach regains that status. So I think, we're going to be, 20,000+, 25,000 people in here tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to be packed to the brim. Very exciting, and obviously the fans are, want to see a great show.
And that's what's great. If you're unable, we're streaming it live, so thank you for tuning in. Awaiting the score here for Thorne, and taking a look at the schedule. Speaking of tomorrow's festivities, our live stream, we go live at 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. Go to 1:30. We have that's top 32. We have a halftime break, and then we go live again with top 16 at 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. All right, Thorne with a 74 puts him up to the second spot, which would be 26th position. So Mike Power currently sits in, again, that 25 spot. Noback sitting 27th, but as you said, Ryan, you can't count your spot just yet. Next up, this looks like Joao Barion. Joao Barion is Corvette, another Brazilian driver, hence the green and yellow livery. Flying his flag, flying the Brazilian flag. The Sheriff. Nickname here. Joao Barion. No, buddy. Oh, no, Joao. Oh, his front right. His front right wheel. What the heck? He's still ripping. How? I mean, wow. Yeah, the front right wheel's looked like a suspension broke or something.
May have happened on initiation, but
wow.
Right from the get-go, there was a problem, and then when the car rotated in front of us, Jared, as we can actually see on separate monitors, that right front was just stuck right there. You can see it.
Ooh.
And amazingly, he continues through the course trying to fight it, trying to get a score on the board.
Clink.
Yeah.
Right there.
Wow.
I'm going to head out. So
haven't seen too many of those.
Oh, here's the silver lining. He saved the car from that wall. That could have been really devastating to Joao. He's had some bad luck over the years, man. I'd love to see him. We know he's got talent, in his native country of Brazil. I know Lontaine's been over there, and he's seen some great driving from. Just a bit of bad luck for the Sheriff of Joao Barion. Yeah, did not give up, Ryan, and I think just that's too big of a correction.
Well, and part of this story now is that, Byron is back.
Yeah.
Because
that's right.
He's going to get it. He's going to get an incomplete on this because he didn't finish the run, and that means that there will be an open slot for
Ryan Turk's going to get a bye.
Ryan Turk's going to the top 16.
Ryan Turk's going to the 16. Look at that. Yeah. So again, with that #1 qualified position, Ryan Turk not only accrues points, but is moving on to get the fast pass to the 16. That'd be great. Who was it? I think it was Chelsea that said he had the least amount of runs ever to win an event because he never went it one more time. And it just ripped through competition. I think it was like 6 runs total or something like that, or like something silly, or if you do the math. Or 8 runs. Yeah, it's a perfect. All right, so we got the RC cars out there. Again, the activities out there, that parking lot's going to be full of car show cars over there. All right, looks like we got a flatbed. We can't get underneath that thing. Looks like he slammed the airbags on that. As we as we kick things off here in Long Beach. Hopefully you can join us in person at one of our 8 rounds, either tomorrow or throughout the season. Round 2, we make our way to Atlanta, which obviously the birthplace back in 2004. It ends here at Irwindale, California in October, the House of Drift. And also, you know, Utah was, you know, first year last year at Utah. I'm expecting a big crowd there this year. I mean, everybody saw how just dynamic and insane that track was, so I think people are going to make the trip.
It was a banger for sure, and it was one of those ones where it was so late in the season. If it didn't work out, it was going to be very difficult to pivot, but you know, Utah came correct.
Yep.
And that course, as you said, is so dynamic and just amazingly awesome. Yep. The really cool grassy knoll area where people are hanging out and having a good time. It was one of my more favorite first-time events.
Long Beach, Atlanta, Orlando. We're going back to Orlando Speed World, E-Town, the first ever Drift Coliseum, St. Louis, Missouri, Seattle, Washington, and talk about Utah and Irwindale, California. Getting Joao Barion towed off. And we will continue with action. The car is slammed so low, that front right, that we got to get that thing on a flatbed and get it out of here. Remember, if you're here in Southern California, Long Beach Grand Prix next weekend, we'll be out here Friday and Saturday night. Super Drift Invitational, Super Drift Challenge. Y'all caught up on Yellowstone, Ryan, and all the other shows? I know you're a big Yellowstone guy.
Yeah, I'm caught up.
You're all caught up. You're good. Okay.
John Dutton, dude.
What's that?
John Dutton.
Mm-hmm. That's who Ryan was for Halloween a couple years ago.
I was Rip.
You were Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, top 5 qualifiers. Ryan Turk with that 98.3, just so dominant. But James Deane coming out, right-hand drive, brand new. AutoZone Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Chelsea Denofa, you know, sitting third. Those 2 RTR Mustangs. The other one, Adam LZ, he's got to fight for a spot. He's got to get a score. Rome Charpentier and Forrest Wang. I mean, look at James and Forrest. We haven't seen them in a few years. Comes out like nothing ever happened. Never took a break. You talk about ring rust, you know, if you're a boxer. Nope, not there. And Ryan Turk, just the X factor here. 10s across the board. That is why the X factor comes into play. And just such a great example of utilizing all of the track. As you said, ping-ponging under the bridge.
Chase driver, but this will be a good indication.
And here's James Deane's run. James Deane, that AutoZone, great looking car.
Kind of set the tone right out of the gate, right? Second run. I remember, you know, I'll never forget this, but in St. Louis, when we transferred over to the new course layout, James and Peter were like the first guys to test it. And he was like, yeah, I'll go run it real quick. And literally, like, the run that he did the very first time, never seeing it, never being on it, was like a 100-point run. The guy is just an incredible athlete.
I was just talking with Odie as we take a look at Chelsea Denofa here. I was talking with Odie. He was up here with Simon Olsen. And he's like, you know, I was like, what happened, bro? He's just like, I was just calm and cool. Like, I was just chill. He missed this third outside zone. He's like, yeah, and then Ryan Turk's not in the car. There's a robot in that car. That's what he said. He's like, it's just not fair. He was giving props where props are due, man. And Chelsea, again, another example of utilizing that X factor, using all of it. You see the pizza delivery boxes and the shirts that Denofa's Pizza Service. Got the fans out here. They got their pizza boxes. I want you to hold up the signs tomorrow. Cheer them on.
Plantain, get on the mic real quick. He's going to just talk about the right here.
All right, so we're getting Joao's vehicle off the course. You could see it. And Ryan Lontaine, one of our judges here this event. And Ryan, the knockout format, the judging format this year, everything. How do you think it's been executed? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a new challenge for us, Jared. It's something that we've been practicing in the off season. As we came up with this system, we planned on having some sessions together over Zoom, basically watching some runs from last year and seeing how we all view the runs, how we view errors, how we'd like to score this. And we came up with a pretty good system thanks to what Ryan Sage had us put together. And we're pretty happy with how it's working out. I think all the practice that we had has really got us prepared so that we're not scrambling today. We're really ready to go and know what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. And you guys really, it was what was really cool about how in agreement you guys were both on the scores and the X factors of a couple runs there.
Yeah, there was one run in particular that had us laughing because when the scores popped up, we had the same score plus the same X Factor score all across the board. And yet on other runs, we were, 5, 6, 7, 8 points apart. So it's just interesting how we sometimes end up at in the same general area points-wise, but we get there in different ways. We will deduct different points on the track if we compare our maps afterwards, but we all end up in the same ballpark generally, so it's working out very well, and it gives us a little bit more independence for the totality of the run.
And do you like this format? Previous years, we'd have a line judge, an angle judge, and a style judge. Now with you guys doing all three formats and the X Factor, are you enjoying that a little more?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and what's interesting is in the previous system, sometimes if you'd be judging line, the run would be over, and you'd try to think back, like, what was the angle like on that run? And you would not even know, you wouldn't even remember because you weren't focusing on it at all. You were looking so hard at line that you just completely ignored angle. So I think doing it this way gives you a better overview of the whole run and how well that run was executed overall from every aspect of our criteria.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the insight. Looks like Joao is off course, and we get back to business. Thank you so much. Ryan Lontaine, Chris Yule, and Robin Ishida are round one judges. Brian Eggert will be peppered in there throughout the season as well. Peppered in just like his hair. Look, my driving here, Brian Eggert sitting next to me. He's got gray hair. We're getting older. My son looked over at me and says, "You look like Neapolitan ice cream. You got all three colors right here." All three flavors right here. Not so much here, but like right here. All right, so Joao Barion, unfortunately, is a double incomplete. He will not be seeing competition, but that means our number one qualifier, Ryan Turk, will be getting the bye run and the fast pass in a top 16. All right, moving on to our next pilot. That would be Kyle the Menace Mohan. So great to see Mohan. I understand, you saw he broke his wheel off. So hopefully Kyle can put it together. Already put it down for his town. He's from right here in Long Beach, California. His son Max is almost 4 years old. Here we go. Kyle the Menace Mohan back out here. Renewable lubricants. Let's see what Mohan's got. A little hesitant on the initiation, maybe gun shy, a little timid, but get a score on the board, middle of the road. Full fuel, oh boy. Oh man, Ryan, another double incomplete. That's gonna be a wash for Mohan.
Now Deane goes to the 16.
Deane goes to top 16. Oh, so unfortunate, man. Just, I know, him and his team and family, his dad, he's spotting for him. They work very hard, and it's just such a bummer. Wonder what were wrong there. So very unfortunate there for Kyle the Menace Mohan. He will not be seeing head-to-head competition tomorrow.
So we've got those two open spots now. The 32nd spot is open and the 31st, which, as you said, Jared, means that James Deane and Ryan Turk will be moving on right to the top 16 due to bye runs.
Wow. So, just a few more drivers left here. Adam LZ, Jonathan Hurst, and Matt Field. Little bird's eye view, and as we now go into that Pedal Commander burnout box, there is the RTR vehicles, all new, 2024 Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Yeah, I got Rookie of the Year. 2021 Adam LZ making some waves, made the move over here with RTR last year. And obviously we see it's a capable machine. What's Adam gonna do? How's he gonna throw down? His RTR teammates are already in the top 5. There goes Adam, he throws it in. Big gangster flick initiation. Ends up coming up shallow in that third outer zone, but does keep it sideways. It looks like Adam LZ will be seeing competition. He's struggling with that transition, going from, you see him going from 2 to 3. See the car grip up and taking that shallower line.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary moment there.
Right.
A lot of angle leaving outside zone 2. You can see he does get out to that first outside zone pretty well. A quick snap back around in the middle of the course caused him to miss outside zone 2 and 3 completely, but he's gonna get a scored run here, and that's the most important thing as he makes his way into tomorrow's competition.
Get some messages from the Deane family, his sister, cheering him on. I know they're happy to get back in the Formula Drift mix. I mean, James is just so happy. Again, went to that RTR, speaking of this Ford Mustang, and he's just elated. Him and his lady Becky are out there, and Queen Bee, and they were just so pumped to be back in the Formula Drift mix.
And it's great to have him back.
Yeah.
Such a good energy.
Good attitude.
He obviously, as we talked about in the opening, he really did elevate the sport as a whole, FD in particular, with his driving along with Peter Vinsek, and getting him back, especially in a team of the status of RTR, is just incredible to see how that marriage is going to work and how it will play out over the course of a full season.
And I'll just divulge a little bit, and I watched the whole VIR video of James doing testing for the first time, and Vaughn told me for 2 days he just watched, he just spectated, he never jumped in the car, he wanted to see the dynamics of the team, what really went down. And again, at that RTR reveal last weekend, James was just, he says, I'm just so stoked. I grew up watching Ponkin Jr., which is one funny because, obviously it makes him sound old, but at the same time, he gives respect where respect is due. And this is coming from a 3-time champ to a 2-time champ, but now he's the boss. It's kind of like he's gone the way, not of the dark side, but the Mustang side,
There's a lot of trophies, a lot of knowledge in the combination between those, and when you marry that with Chelsea Denofa and Adam LZ, it's one of the coolest teams in the sport for sure.
Absolutely.
They've got so many great projects going on. Here's Adam LZ coming in. He will get that score, Jared. Obviously, it's on the lower side, but he is in competition. That's the most important part.
Yep, he gets a score on the board, 66.3, so puts him into, again, 25, 26, 20, 28th. We'll see if that holds there. And next up, we are moving on again. This is Nick Noback. Nick Noback in the Noback Racing Co. BMW. Nick's definitely got some fervor. He's got some excitement. Let's see what he's got here for us. Woo-wee! Noback absolutely launching into view. Slamming that back end, not leaving anything to chance. Oh, buddy, he wraps around that final inside clip. Man, relax, dude. Zero chill. Noback trying to go for the #1 spot, but he can't get any higher than 25th. So, again, you need a 74.66 in order to slide at that number 25 spot.
Well, this is certainly, I think, an overall improvement for him in the approach from the onset. He does tap that wall, though, and that puts him offline a little bit. But you could just tell he seemed a little bit more comfortable this time around, was able to put some few pieces together that he wasn't in the first run with that incomplete. And on the second one, even though there are some mistakes here, he's going to get a score. He'll be into competition. He gets himself an extra lap to get used to this course. And over the the course of going from the afternoon into the early evening, the track temperatures are going to change. Gives him a greater bucket of knowledge to have as he takes his approach on tomorrow in the top 32.
All right, Nick Noback hits the number.
Oh no! Wow, they ate too much, I think.
What's that?
I think they basically said he came to a 0-degree drift after that wall hit, and I think they may be giving him an incomplete.
Well, let's Wow, so there it is. I thought he would get the number, but no, the judges said no, he straightened out too much. That's an incomplete for Nick Noback. And it comes down to talking to Robin Ishida. He says it's just unchaseable. It's just an unchaseable lead run. So unfortunately, oh, you know what? Excuse me. I digress. He has 73.6, so he is in the show. I apologize. Thank you so much. So again,
we butchered that.
He does get in the show a 73.66. So again, he was one of 2 drivers that did have a score on their first run. So Nick Noback is in tomorrow's competition. I digress. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so Jonathan Hurst and Matt Field, those are our next drivers. This is Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah last year, slammed into the wall, got hit hard, broke his foot, and he just needed a coilover. I don't know if you remember that. I just need suspension. And he's back out there with a broken foot. Just put some dirt on it, man. We're good. Here we go. Jonathan Hurst at Carbon Kevlar BMW. Looking good. Again, a new tire sponsor. Yes, there we go. There's the Hurst we know and love. The Vitor tires into that final. There it is. That was a dope run, man. That was solid.
That was a dope run right there. And it's going to be a high scored run as well. It's not going to make a difference for him in the positioning, but it will put him, possibly, 25th? In 25th. Yeah. I think it's certainly going to be better than a 74.66, which is where the current score is. The approach to the outside wall was clean. The transition was great. Good throttle control. A bug goes on our drone. And a nice transition back around, sweeping right through that inside clip on a pretty good line. And, this run does have a pretty high risk quotient, which you've got to give it up for that, because sitting on an incomplete, I would be thinking just get a scored run, and he goes out there and kind of crushes it.
Sometimes, I know drivers do this. It's even like golf or any sport, when you kind of pedal it back too much, you end up making simple mistakes.
Sure.
So, sometimes you just got to go for it. Otherwise, you'll just loop it, do something stupid.
Might as well get pinned.
Yeah, get pinned. Put a bird on it. All right, so we got one more driver, and a notable one at that. Mr. Beast from the Bay, Matt Field. Who that? Oh, Mike Power, too. My bad. 2 drivers. 2 drivers. We got Mike Power, and then Mike Power, and then Matt Field. My bad. Just getting ahead of myself. Brian, I'm liking the format. I'm really liking the judging format here. I think it's really great, and like you said, it's just.
See, there you go.
There you go.
Boom.
86.
Karma.
Good call, Ryan. 86. Too bad that wasn't his first run. he wouldn't be down here in this situation. But
where would that put him if it was?
It's yeah.
We'll take a look.
Yeah, he'd be. Top
I think
10.
he'd be top 5.
Yeah, top. I don't know about top 5.
Yeah, I think it is because Higa was I think like mid 80s, and he was top 6 or 7. So 7th. Okay,
7th.
Making claims.
Yep. Not claims. It's facts. All right, here we go. Mike Power in that Type S chassis. Let's see what we got here for Mike Power from the East Coast. Mike does have a score, 74.6, so it's not do or die, but obviously, maybe wants to better it, gets the track to 86. A little wobble there on initiation, Ryan. Nice clean transition there from Mike Power. Into that 3rd outside zone and final clip. Brings it around. Nice job there by Mike Power.
Yeah, LFG.
Back in black, baby. Getting it done. You think that's better than an 86?
I don't think so, but it is definitely a solid run from Mike. Let's take a look here. Great throttle out to that first outside zone. Smooth transition across. Trying to push out to that 3rd outside zone, one of the tougher ones, right up against the touch and go. Great job there. Pretty solid line through that last inside clip from above. You can see the line that he's drawing is pretty solid. Good angle, smoke line, pretty much uninterrupted. So good indication of throttle there. You can see the green lights going as well. And a good run here for Mike Power.
All right, so again, scoring-wise, the format being shifted this year, 90 points total on the score. Each judge has that, they're doing all the criteria. We haven't broken it down, we combine it, and you can, we don't have the line, angle, and style judge independently. Every judge judged all the criteria, 90 points available, and then the last 10 of the 100 is what we've called the X factor. That's just that amplitude, that impact, that special sauce, that big transition, the big heavy, just risking it, kind of living on that razor's edge. So that's how we've created the format this year. We have 4 judges, 3 are judging, 1, so they're kind of rotating in as well. So Robin Shida from Japan, he's back joining us here. Chris Yule and Ryan Lontaine are 3 judges for this event. Brian Eggert is heading up any driver relationship things going on, 81.33. So Mike Power does not better the 86, but he does better his first score of a 74.6. So right now, what it all comes down to this, the beast in the bay, he looped it going from outside zone 2 to 3. He needs to get it done. And again, Matt Field so close to a championship last year at the Wet, Wacky, and Wild Irwindale event. He spun and hit the wall. He wants that championship. Here we go, that Borla exhaust, Heat Wave, Lean Customs, GT Radial, Corvette. Transition to that second outside zone. Keeps it fluid, keeps it safe, keeps it off the wall. One more turn and we'll see Matt Field in competition. Barely nudges out of the way, but he nudges his way into head-to-head competition. Whew. Wipe of the brow there for Chow, his spotter, and his whole team. So thank you so much. Hey, guess what? Join us up here as our #1 qualifier, Ryan Turk. Get over here, buddy.
Let's take a look at Matt Field before we close out. Big, long e-brake pull on initiation. Got a little bit scary there, but now right in the hat, moving forward to that third outside zone, getting to the touch and go, wraps it around, and gets the job done here. We'll see what the score is from the judges, but Matt Field avoiding a very, very bad day if he were not to get into the top 32.
All right, so great showing there by Matt Field. Hey, thank you so much. Guess what? Join us up here in the booth. My man Ryan Turk. Yeah, put those on. You talk into that thing. That's what you do, buddy. All right, well, I think I know the answer to this, Ryan, as we're taking a look at Matt Field. I mean, dude, he's spun. He almost didn't make it, bro. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw it actually right after I jumped out of the car and I was able to catch it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you're right there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's kind of a rhetorical question. What do you think of the new format of judging?
It worked out for me really well.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, judges and Formula Drift.
Don't give him money. That's weird. 78.66 for Matt Field. Congratulations. Looking good in his Momo suit and his new Field hat. But, yeah, dude. Crazy. I know you have a love-hate relationship with this track, man.
I don't hate this track at all.
You don't?
Yeah, there's no hate towards it. I just had a couple bad events here, and
you rode off a car.
Things happen.
You've banged yourself up.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at what you're putting yourself into, and the just the factor of,
Yeah, risking it.
Yeah,
and that's what we talk about, this X factor, right? So. And I was talking with Odie over here. Odie gave you a compliment. He says, it's not fair. I don't think Ryan's driving that thing. They got a robot behind the wheel. So, and I think that's a testimonial to how precision driving you are. And I talked about, Chelsea Denofa. He's got a lot of bumper hang. You got that tight one. Have you reviewed the tail of the tape and taken a look at your run?
I haven't even seen the lap.
Here it is.
Sweet.
Here it is. So what's going through your mind here, man?
Just don't mess up. No, trying to recreate a lap I had in practice, but make it a little bit better. So add another couple percent to it, which I was able to do. Little late on outer 3 where I got into the wall, but everything else looked really clean. And then I missed inner 1, which my spotter Brian let me know.
You were almost a perfect. You have not had a 100-point run yet.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I think this is probably my highest qualifying score
I've had, and I think
what a way to start the season, man.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's it makes you feel good and confident into tomorrow, but tomorrow's a whole new game. So
yeah, you're looking really good.
You're not going to win a championship on qualifying day.
You can't win a round. You can't win this. But you can win a championship without winning events like Forsberg.
100%. Yeah, Forsberg proved that. Matt Field almost proved that last year. Yeah. Like it's definitely a doable thing. You just got to be consistently on the podium.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much. Let you get some rest. Grab a Rockstar. Shout out to Roman and Shanny Pants, right?
Hi, babe. I'm in.
Right there. Babe. Right there. Yeah. His wife at home with his son. Happy early birthday, buddy. Your birthday's on Monday, right?
Yeah, we forget those now.
I know. We're getting old.
Too old.
Yeah. Ryan's not a day 1-1. He's like,
I'm a day 1.5.
Yeah, he's this guy, dude. We've partied together, we've hung out together, and we've seen him just progress. So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Do you remember your first FD in Long Beach?
Oh yeah.
What were you
I didn't
driving?
qualify.
You didn't?
Yeah, it was in 2006, and I had an issue with my car. And I went super inside on coming from outer 2 to 3 over the rumble strips and barely even finished the lap.
Wow.
And that was not enough. Back then it was a top 16 only.
That's right.
And I was far away from that.
Right. And what do you remember about last year? Taking the win overall, that was, I think, pretty emotional for you, right?
Oh, yeah. Just that whole week leading up, the birth of my wife and I's son, Roman, and then coming out here like a week later was a trip. And just good energy all around. And
cool.
It's this track has, like I said, it's bit me back, but it has treated me really well. I got my first win here back in 2009, and I love it. I love the energy. I love being downtown Long Beach, and this being the hometown for Formula Drift and a local event to a lot of the drivers, which is cool.
Yeah, it's great. So, and again, it begins here in Long Beach. It ends at Irwindale, and it ends at the Pike Bar. That's where it usually ends.
100%.
Cherry and Forrest. Shout out to our boy Chris Reese. Thank you, Ryan. Let you get some rest. Congratulations.
Yep.
Ryan Turk in the Toyota GR Corolla, Rain-X, Nitto Tires, Rockstar Energy Drink, your K&N Air Filters #1 qualifier here in Long Beach. Guess what? We're back at it tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Top 32. We'll take the break 3 to 6. We got top 16 to find out who wins here at round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deanna. We have our judges, Ryan Sage. We'll see Lorette Nickel tomorrow as well. Send it. We'll see you tomorrow.